regular season is over. The dust is settled and those who remain are fighting to conquer the competition.
Only one will rise to become the champion, the Titan.
Emotional damage, energy.
Queen's Revenge.
Basement Dweller.
Hotspot Gaming Crimson.
Dorado Gaming Epsilon.
Rubber Ducky Game.
Elysium Fritz.
Elysium Blade.
You don't want to miss this. Titan Esports on a Wednesday. Let's f***ing go, baby. Gonna get the commitment now. Soren Ives, Garen's gonna be late to the party. He might be zoned out here. Doesn't even more. The damage is insurmountable. Oh, the Moonlight Figo is huge. Taylor Swift ripping through. HSGC. Dragons do most of the damage in that. Esteban's will go down. Chaos Storm gonna go down from Tough Daddy. Good encore. He land onto the mid laner there. He's gonna get the bailout onto him. He's still alive. No assist. Goes through. That's two in quick succession. But the Sivir throwing the boomerang blades. Gonna get one back. Drops the opposing AD carry.
I got a haircut and they cut my ear. Like,
oh my god.
Through it. I didn't even notice it happened. And then I was like bleeding.
Just regenerate that back. You'd think that you would notice that.
I didn't say it got cut off. I said
completely.
It got cut. Okay. Yes, my hairdresser amputated my ear while I was having a haircut, and I didn't notice.
Fun fact, Crimson's hairdresser is a hairdresser plus a black market surgeon.
I should have realized after the first year.
Well, that's where the other one went. I'm so glad your ears are still working after that horrible hairdressing experience. Taylor Swift doesn't even need the team. Slatty takes on the hunt. Going Rictuses, gets stunned up Valley. Master at arms, master at Jax.
Wawa JL able to poke off a lot of damage. Mandolin still barely alive. The Cyclone coming through on the backside will allow OP Killswitch to find one there. In comes Nick Lowles. Out comes the Hextech ultimatum.
Daltini Linguini trying to get more stats on the board. He gets rated up there. Exhausted as well. No damage coming out. Jack's going to return it. With his body gets pulled back with the improv to fight these shutdowns. The Udyr, the Nudyr, who the hell put him on a cooldown? Man, looks like they're going to get the Syndra. Okay, one carry already gone. Varus going away, Lightning Crash going to be pulled back. Boogie back. Actually pulled it back. This is set up nicely for Boogie. He gets one already. Ultra Shot through the wall with an Ember. He's got three. He's looking for four. This is a quadra goal. This is a miracle. This is a Cinderella story. That's a penta-kill for Boogie. Ladies and gentlemen, how high was that video? Such handsome casters in that one too. Your handsome casters for tonight, of course, going to be Lamb and Crims. Welcome everybody to Wednesday night at Titan Esports. Crims, we got a game on our hands. It's the playoffs, baby.
Yeah. I mean, look, we also have some really good teams here. Queen's Revenge, Elysium Blaze. Both of these teams did excellently in their seasons, and I'm excited to see this matchup here. Elysium Blaze haven't dropped a game yet, so Queen's Revenge, are they going to give them their first loss in any BO5 nonetheless? Can't wait to find out here, Lamb.
Yeah, finding out is what we do best when we cast these. I believe this is a best of 5. So strap in. Like Crim's already mentioned, it's Elysium Blaze taking on Queen's Revenge. Queen's Revenge. Right at the start, we actually cashed over a number of their games, Crims, and there's a few familiar names on that squad as well. They finished 4-3 for the season, 9-6 overall in the best of 3s. So that's not that bad, but when you look on the flip side to that, Elysium Blaze, undefeated all season.
Yeah, they've been absolutely smacking in their groups here. And I mean, both of these groups had some really tough opponents for both of them to handle. So I would say that we have the cream of the crop here, Lamb. These are top teams, and they made it to playoffs for a reason.
Well, we'll see if they can actually take a stranglehold in this one. And, of course, the winner plays the other quarterfinal that's going on, Dorado, taking on Basement Dwellers as well tonight. I'm not too sure. I mean, yeah, it is tonight, I think. If it is tonight, it's going to happen tonight. Either way, we'll be able to keep up to date with the results in that one. And, of course, Elysium Blaze are looking forward to this matchup, that's for sure. And Queen's Revenge, they got to have something prepared to your Crims, right? That regular season format goes out the window, and it's all to play for now.
Yeah, this is where if you've been hiding strategies, you got to show them. You got to make sure that you can make it through. And Lamb already going to be disappointed. The Heckram, how do you like that new icon completely removed from the first game?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. What is that? What is that? Who's touching my champion? Just buff him and give him a bear item. That's it. That's all that Lamb needs, and then I'll take that back to solo queue. But interesting ban actually from Elysium Blaze. They take away that Evelyn. Hyper focus on solo queue junglers here. Crims, what is happening here? Twitch being hovered as well, better be taken away. And of course Vi, another really early game jungler that's so strong in the meta right now that's cease and desist. The combination of Flash Vault Breaker not going to be in this one, and of course Evelyn has that ability to 1v9 after level 6. So again, another jungle. Can we see 6 jungle bans? Okay, Thresh going to be taken away, never mind.
All right, and the first pick, Xayah. This is pretty standard. A lot of teams are doing this, well known. The question is, does Elysium Blaze steal away the Rakan? Because Xayah Rakan is a absolutely monster combo in the mid game. You can abuse it in lane phase. Rakan not the best laner. A lot of champions who can abuse that support right there. So the question is for Elysium, do you want to counter the Rakan or do you want to steal it away? And it looks like they are leaning right into the steal here, and they can counter pick the Xayah. There are plenty of champions to do so. You can either pick a champion that can frontline better or a champion that can poke. One of those strategies will do the job against Xayah in lane here. Typically you'll see the Varus, so we'll see if we go with that. And they're gonna wait for their AD carry and prio pick the Maokai here into the Xayah pick. Very interesting.
And quickness, Nature's Grasp works very well together. Set up nicely for the Maokai. Can hit you from the Fog of War, but another really good champion that's been on the ascendancy, even in the flexibility, is Gragas. Right, we've seen numerous Gragas go into the jungle. The ability to pilot this champion, it gets to a certain stage where you're one-shotting carries, and that's where you want to be. But if you fall behind, it's a little bit tougher to get back into it. So, rightly you said, Xayah appears very well. And with Rakan, that's going to be taken away, of course. But Lulu still on the cards as well. Karma, another one. Anything really to keep the AD carry safe, as well as the kit that she has. Leona.
Okay. Leona is pretty much seen as the meta counter to Rakan these days here, so that is going to be the support counter pick there. Gragas, that flex potential, can go a lot of lanes, top, jungle, or mid, so let's not settle on this Gragas just yet. Maokai is going to be played into the Xayah. I think Xayah is pretty good at getting away from this champion, so Maokai pick kind of interesting as they go with the poke option into the Xayah. We have an Ezreal, Rakan. I'm not a big fan of this bot lane, Lamb. I think this bot lane does a whole lot of nothing. And yeah, in the mid game, it's going to be pretty good. But for the early game, they're going to be completely out of commission. Just going to completely throw away this lane phase here. All the pressure goes to Queen's Revenge in this bot lane.
On Queen's Revenge, drafting very aggressively, you could say, down there in the bot side as well. And the fact that maybe Leona was locked in here against the Rakan, maybe Elysium thought that, okay, they've got the Leona, we can't really engage as much as we want to, so let's pick a champion that's going to scale safely, has the ability to actually get away from the Leona, and they've got that in the Ezreal. But again, not really a pick that you see in AD carry these days, right? There's so many that come at the forefront before Ezreal, Jhin, Varus scaling. You can build them different ways, but of course Ezreal is going to be locked in for Elysium Blaze. So are they playing weak side bot? Because we know how that transpires. These games are very quick, Crims. They just want to get them over about 25 to 30 minutes. It's not enough time to actually get back into it and give the Ezreal time to scale if he's not doing well in the game.
Yeah, usually games are decided 10-15 minutes these days, even though it takes a little bit while to close them out. So this Ezreal Rakan lane completely gonna have to play safe in the bot side. Because of that Leona, it's gonna make it quite rough for them as well. Ezreal Rakan, they have a lot of escape, but they're just gonna get shoved in. So that's gonna be at least, if nothing goes wrong for Queen's Revenge, 2 dragons secured already just based off this draft here. So now we get to the second round. Rumble and Jace going to be taken away. That's a pretty strong counters to Jax in the lane on that Jace, as well as another flex pick, Jace being taken away. Silas into the Maokai is terrible, so that is a good ban there. They're going to go ahead, blind the Camille. And now that does... That puts them in a weird spot because they're building full dive here for their comp lane, but there's a Xayah and a Gragas. These are perfectly capable champions of disengaging. This Camille pick is questionable.
Yeah, you can lock down the Zaya, but I believe once the feathers come out in the route, it buys you enough time to actually get out of that. So the follow-up going to be extremely important. But they also have follow-up CC as well. Talia locked in for Queen's Revenge. Another disengage tool if they need it. And of course, Weaver as well can displace the whole squad if they're caught out on the wrong side of the map. So all eyes are going to that mid lane right now. The path and the ability of Talia in Queen's Revenge, they are the underdogs this evening. So picking this kind of composition, I mean, it is very good into what Elysium Blaze are trying to do, but it's harder execution, I want to say. Like, even with the Zaya, she's pretty safe, but you need to be in the right position. The Wukong makes a little bit more sense to me. You have that backline threat so the Ezreal can get out the fight, and Wukong can chase him down, but that Camille is going to be a thing, and Ziggs being hovered here as well. Actually, it's not hovered, it's locked in, Crims. It's going to be Ziggs against Talia in the mid lane.
Yeah, they didn't take too long on that Ziggs lock in here. The Ziggs is going to be a powerhouse in the mid lane, being able to poke out the Talia. So they have a winning lane there. And unfortunately for Elysium Blaze, based off their draft, that's their only strong lane in the game. However, it is still viable to play mid out to the side lanes there. They're just going to have a tough time doing it with this Ziggs. Other side, Queen's Revenge, strong bot lane. They have also the winning top side, at least in the lane phase. Gragas does get outscaled by Camille, but should be able to manage her in that early phases of the game. And that gives them access to both objectives here from Queen's Revenge. They can go for the Rift Heralds and they can go for the Dragons. So I suspect this early game is going to be mainly controlled by Queen's Revenge. If they mess it up, though, Elysium Blaze have that opportunity of turning around the game. Otherwise, Queen's Revenge, I think they've picked themselves a really strong draft, and not to mention a draft that's going to really manhandle in the early game.
And that's if the Gragas is going top here, because the Wukong is still a thing that can be rotated as well.
That's true.
So putting that to the platter, I mean, you still have that guessing game. The ability on Camille is pretty good to deal with either of these champions as well. So it's not too significant on where it's going to be flexed, but we can get confirmation now. Actually, we're not going to give confirmation. We're actually going to wait until we get into game. We keep all secrets on Titan. Everywhere else, we'll tell you everything. We'll tell you everything. Crims cannot keep a secret. This man.
Whoa. Hold
That's
up.
right.
What do you mean I can't keep a secret?
I'm
going to keep this secret. All right. We're not going to tell you what lane's going to until the game starts. All right. You have my word, Lamb. Pinky promise on that one.
His word is his bond. That's for sure. But yeah, okay. So let's say in a hypothetical universe, we don't know where these champions are going. Okay, let's take our eyes to where we do know what's going to happen. So again, we already made reference to that bot lane Ezreal Rakan. Very unconventional synergy. Going up against another, it's probably a little bit more conventional than that one, the Zaya and Leona. So for Queen's Revenge, think of the win condition here. Do you go to that bot lane? Do you try and make it impossible for the Ezreal to play the game, pick up these early dragons? Your ability to snowball the game after that, depending or not if Gragas or / Wukong in the jungle makes the roams down there and then they get ahead, can they snowball the bot lane, or is their action going to be elsewhere on the map? Where do you think it's going to happen here, Crims?
I think they have full opportunity to get their bot lane ahead. The Leona and the Wukong going to provide enough engage to kill at least Rakan or Ezreal. They're pretty slippery, so they're going to need to make sure their execution's on point. But if even without that, they should be able to get the push in and get some turret plates, and then that's going to give them prio for the dragon. So I know that that's going to be happening. They could also go for the Rift Herald because of the Gragas pressure. Talia is going to be losing pressure to Ziggs early game, but she has her ultimate to catch up to Ziggs and affect these fights despite being behind, or can just completely clear in the meantime here, as I think we're finally getting ready to load into this game here, Lamb.
Yeah, just a little bit more and then we'll actually be there. This is very exciting. I want to get your thoughts actually on Ziggs as a champion. Ziggs, again, usually used for that backline damage that you can just throw in, Mega Inferno Bomb, and again has that satchel to stay nice and safe. And it suits the composition of Elysium here because they don't want to play very forward with their carries here. They have the Makai, the Camille, and the Rakan to keep everybody off of Ziggs and Ezreal. But it's a lot of pressure on these champions that require a lot of skill shots, right? And certainly going against Xayah, you already mentioned that ultimate is going to keep her nice and safe. She has appeal and the ability of the Leona. So for Elysium Blade, where do you look for an opportunity to actually get onto these carries? Because I'm counting about 5 of them right now. 4, not Leona. Leona is not carry. Leona is not carry.
Yes, Leona is not a carry, definitely support champion. Lamb, big brain there. As we have Ziggs and Ezreal as their main line of offense against the Xayah. They're going to be able to outrange her and poke her from a distance. That is like if we get into these objective dance scenarios. So if they're dancing around the Baron, if they're dancing around the Dragon, and Xayah can get poked out. In terms of the all-out team fight, though, I agree with you. They're going to have a really hard time getting on Xayah, locking her down. Not to mention that there's going to be the Talia there to stop all of these dashes, so Camille's going to have a rough time. Rakan's going to have a rough time getting in for some really cool wombo combos. So I agree, they have a lot of protection, and they also have flexibility in offense with the Gragas, Wukong, and Leona as well. Their comp's just generally going to do well in these fights. I think they have a lot of answers. They don't have enough answers to poke. That's the one weakness they have. But honestly speaking, it's really hard to play up poke comps, and I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off.
Well, to find out if they pull it off or not, we're going to cut to a small break. But when we come back, it's Lamb, Crims, Elysium Blaze, Queen's Revenge, quarterfinals coming up right after this. Welcome back, Titan fans. Time to get entertained right now. Conqueror, this is quarterfinals right now. It's a best of 5 beginning. Elysium Blaze taking on Queen's Revenge. The seeding a little bit one-sided, but again, Crims, that is all forgotten about because push comes to shove, and you better be shoving back as hard as you can to make this series go the distance, because I'm ready for that best of 5. I'm strapped in. I want it. You gonna give me it?
Yeah, this is the first best of 5 this season in Titan, and I think it's going to be an absolute banger here, as both teams did some invading here, Lamb. So no one's shying away yet for some crazy plays. They get down vision into the cross jungles, and all is going to be known about these jungle paths.
Yeah, they'll clear out that ward though. So who's going to get the gold? It's going to be Camille. All right, GG, Gragas. Gragas, by the way, the talking point before we got into the game, is going to be locked in on the top side. Wukong traditionally in the jungle. Gragas was picked up before. However, see that old switcheroo? That ward was not cleared either. So defensive ward. Might be able to spot out any shenanigans that go on there. And we're going to get phase rush on Ellie Chihuahua. The Makai looking to be fast as he can. If he can get those auto attacks off. And remember, Crims, we love that Makai smash. So maybe we'll hit that button a couple times too.
And don't forget about those clips. Or that might just be too late. As we're done, we're done chilling out here as the game starts. Bot lane. Looks like they did not get their opportunity to press in the lane. Awkward positioning here for the red side because they are pushed quite a bit up. So Elysium Blaze, they're going to have to be careful about getting ganked early here. Wukong, Queen Stakes on his way to that bot lane. So they're going to have to play careful. They're pushed up for now. They have the level 2. If they get the bounce, they may be able to avoid that gank. Depends on the pushback timing here. And I know Lamb's super excited about this conversation.
Yes, absolutely. I'm always excited. I was about to say, even with the nerfs, Makai is still pretty significant champion, right? Offers that utility, the lockdown. Speaking of lockdown, that's the trade you're going to see over and over again. Nick going on to Psychopather, eats the body slam, and then goes back to farming the wave. And of course, Gragas gets that drunken rage, makes him harder to actually take down. He can withstand a lot of damage up there, but ultimately Camille still going to scale pretty dang good. And for the additional threat of that split pushing, we've seen it before. The game can end in an instant, so keeping these objectives as healthy as you can, which means keeping an eye on the Herald, keeping an eye on the Dragon as well, so that you're not forcing any unfortunate plays, or I should say one-sided plays, because if you are that scaling team, you don't want to be forced into anything early here, Crims.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be forced into early game skirmishes, which might be happening quite soon. Queen Six is here, did the full clear as well. Gonna get spotted on that ward, so I think they hasn't walked up just yet. And now we're just waiting for Chihuahua's positioning here. Gonna clear it out so they know there is no vision in the bottom river. And it looks like they decide that probably Chihuahua is going to be here as well. No reason to just try to 3v3 early, despite the fact that I think they would win that 3v3 pretty handily at this point. So they decide not to go for it, a bit risky. And they decide safer plays are going to be the way to carry this game.
50 seconds on that next Dragon. Looks like pings are going down there by Chihuahua.
Oh, nice ward.
Elysium Blaze, they are in control of that bot lane. We thought it wouldn't be, but they're going to see Queen Sticks here. So, will that play come through? No, Makai just opting to get the back off in the alcove. Knows his bot side has got that pressure. Nothing funny going to happen here. Goes back in. Idris gets the shield through from the Rakan, and he's going to be nice and safe.
Yeah, the homie is safe. Maokai decides not to go for the gank, so Chihuahua pathing to the top side a little late on the rotations on Maokai, who tends to enjoy farming a bit. Oh, this might be a perfect engage. Ignite gonna come down.
The homies are safe, Grims. The homies are safe. Oh, wait a minute. Orbitio taking a little bit more damage than he bargained for. And yet again, Elysium Blaze, they're off to a good start in that bot side. We thought for sure that Xayah Leona would be able to just nullify that state of the Rakan, but you're seeing Homie making plays down there. So Obviously not fending off by that Leona, not intimidated by that counter pick or so-called counter pick in this game. And we'll see how that transitions as well. Remember, those roams can come through depending on what they want to pick up here from both of the supports. But Leona got those boots. No Mobis. She might be looking to make things happen still.
Yeah, boots are just so strong on support. Lets you get the roam if you're going for that. Also gets you in range for engage. So the boots are a super good pickup for both supports here. And it looks like they are going to be doing a bit of spring cleaning in the mid lane. Going to be taking away those wards here as this dragon is up. And I did set Queen's Revenge as the one who are going to be picking it up. But due to these lane states, especially in bot side, I'm going to have to flip the script here. I don't think they can pick this one up, even though I think their comp says they should.
Nick. Big shot off the wall. Yeah, he's going to be fine. Explosive cast follows him as well. He's going to be just fine up there. Gragas fending him off. And that dragon looks enticing, but the ward coverage is enough just to negate anything from happening for Queen's Revenge in this one. Elysium Blaze just looking to babysit the bot lane now, and that vision is going to work its way down the south side of that river. Working his way down there as well is Talia. Sergeant Roebuck taking to the rift again. Cast over multiple times in this squad here, Crims. And for the Talia, it's always going to be very enticing once you've got that level 6.
Both of these champions in the mid lane have that global. And finally, they do get the push up here. They have to succeed the pressure. They just don't have enough split push on their own. Leona, Xayah get in. And now they have gained that access to the river here. And they're just all over it. It's all warded up. Definitely a wise decision from Elysium Blaze to not contest this here. They're going to have to give. So the Xayah Leona pressure eventually comes through. And they don't contest on that bot side. Queen 6 goes low due to the Ziggs ultimate. But that's a bit of a futile effort there, Lamb.
Still a worthy attempt. OP kill switch has to go back anyway. Maybe you luck it out. Maybe you try and steal that dragon and get your team off to a great start. Off to a great start so far is Queen's Revenge. They're behind in the gold department, but that's just due to these lanes. 10 CS difference between Idris and Xayah. So keep our eyes on that one. How much can the Xayah get back in this? I believe that wave is bouncing back towards the side of Elysium Blaze down there again. But even with that pressure, they lose out on the first dragon.
And no one has fallen just yet as the pressure is mounting in this game. Who is going to get first blood? The team's pretty even despite this dragon take overall. And now it's just who is going to be the one who gets the first blood, the first major advantage in this game. Both of these teams on edge.
On edge, all to play for. And that body slam comes back in onto Nick, but the Weaver's Wall going to come out as well. Interrupts Italia. Robot gets seismic shove back. Set up nicely. Rooted up forever. It's homie. First blood over to the opposing support. A Queen's Revenge.
All right, they go ahead and they pull the trigger, and they're going to get it off the back of the roam. A Queen's Revenge stepping up here. The gold's still even. They give up a lot of plates from OP kill switch in mid lane. Oh, that's a... I don't know if that play was overall worth it, as the kill does go over to Kraydog. So, in terms of value, not the best for first blood.
Well, value is always a good thing. Nick getting the second activation. Precision Protocol trading with the Gragas. Luke is up there though. Chihuahua just got the Herald as well, so going to get that empowered back. The Makai very active, blasting wand on the inventory as well. Demonic Embrace on its way. Picks up the vision. It's going to be also important going forward, but again, that gold lead extending just a little bit more, 800 now in favor of Elysium Blaze. And they've looked good all season, Crims. They've lost a couple of games here and there. I believe it's like 14-4 overall in the series that they've played, but 7-0 for the regular season. It's got to be respected.
Yeah, there's definitely some respect due. Both teams do seem like they are. I mean, no one's ego checking just yet. And the farm is quite even, as that Rift Herald's going to be plopped down mid lane. Queen's Revenge are going to be losing massive number of plates here. So OP Kill Switch is getting a lot of gold funneled into him right now. And he is the strongest point for Elysium Blaze at this moment. So it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, Queen's Revenge yet to have to inflict any revenge in this game so far. 10 minutes in. One dragon to the good, and Gragas music so far, but he's going to back and get that reset off. He's got teleport, so Psychopath are going to be able to catch this wave. Nick again will push this one in. Camille has a handsome CS lead up there, but should be equaled out by the Gragas. Now he's going to eat up that wave for free. If you're Gragas, you certainly like eating, and minions are definitely on the menu.
So because of that mid lane, the Rift Herald as well as the plates picked up by the via the roam from Sergeant Roebuck here. Look at this gold difference completely generated off those plays, and I'm gonna have to assume OP kill switch the biggest benefactor of that one so far. Ziggs is not a hard carry, so this gold should be put to good use right now. So I want to see them utilize this as Homie getting engaged on.
Yeah, they go back onto their can. He will duck and dive out of there. That's going to be Hextech ultimatum on his Psychopath. Gets locked up, tanks one turret shot. Gets explosive cast to disengage that fight from Nick. Wukong was babysitting as well, so maybe Nick has some information. It doesn't matter if he does or not. Hook shot off the wall. Already used the disengage. Flash still available. Going to be followed by the Cyclone. Crushing blow. Not enough. Still burning with the red buff. Going to get the shield through from the Q, and Nick will foil that gank attempt.
Yeah, it looked quite close here. Psychopath apparently decides that's the time to go in without the Wukong there. Queen Sticks definitely did burn resources from the Wukong gank, so it wasn't a complete loss, but I do think they could have picked up a kill.
Oh, max range Zenith Blade onto the Ezreal. Has to use the flash to stay alive.
Wait a minute, the rest of the team's coming right in. They have to get out of here.
Like Inferno Bomb, good feathers to come out, but that's going to be the only thing that keeps Habitual safe here. Nature's Grass comes through. Oh, tries to get the feathers pulled back. Good attempt, but nonetheless going to fall to the Ezreal. Kraydog tanks the turret shot for good measure, and looks like this kill will be donated over to the hard scaling AD carry, the Ezreal.
Not respecting Chihuahua to be on the bot side, as well as kill switch roaming down there as well. The only play left for them was to go for the counter kills, and they weren't able to pick that up, and they're losing a very important second dragon as well. And Lamb, they committed the sin of trying to make a play on both sides of the map. They knew Queen Sticks was in the top side, yet they decided to go for that play, and now they are taking a huge loss in the bot lane. Idris just picked up 2 kills on this scaling bot lane as well. Not a good look here for this dragon stacking.
Oh, Essence Reaver just completed for him as well. That tier still being stacked successfully. So Ezreal well on his way, being accelerated in this game. That gold lead extends for the first time past that 4-digit mark. And it's still in favor of Elysian Blaze and not let go of it. Okay, Talia, valiant attempt onto the Ziggs. I believe the satchel came out to keep OP kill switch from falling. He's completed that Ludens now. The Mythic starting to come through for this squad, and you can see the strength in these carries as well here.
Yeah, so far Ezreal off to a great start, and I shudder at the fact that his damage is going to be insane going with this poke build as well. So they're going to have to do something about this bot lane ASAP, because the Rakan, once he gets online as well, that's just going to be a huge mid-game power spike for them. So far, 1-2, not a huge lead, but I think Elysian Blaze are in a great spot. They rotate their bot lane up to mid, so that's going to be great for their safety in the mid lane. And I don't see, besides a mistake from Homie here, any way for them to get caught out.
Homie needs some homies. He's got it in the form of Ezreal. He's just fine. He's just tantalizingly quick. And you have to be to get away from Kraydog, but the Solar Flare did come out. So for the Leona, that's going to be on a cooldown. It's not going to hurt them too much. 3.5 on the next dragon as well. That'll be the next contention in the south side of the river. Here is Shelly, I believe, is going to be up soon as well. The second one of the game. And Chihuahua, he's already used the first one, clearly. And funneling that gold into the bot lane as well is going to be so important. And now this Ezreal has amassed a CS lead, has amassed a kill lead as well. Very much sitting comfortably in this game.
They're super comfortable. You could tell they're not trying to force any plays, playing really relaxed. And Homie, despite getting like CC'd a little bit, is on Rakan, can just hop over walls, not really burning anything. Meanwhile, on the other side, Queen's Revenge, I think they're feeling a bit antsy. They know that the pressure is a bit on for them to make plays through this Leona, and so far they're ending up with nothing. And not to mention, in the top lane, Lamb, Nick Lowles is just getting a free skill lane so far. The Gragas is not preventing anything crazy from happening, but it's not really holding down Camille either.
Nick having a great one in this one, very comfortable. A lot of comfort actually on the side of Elysium Blaze. We go back to it that they're not feeling hard pushed in this game. Now they managed to equal out the dragons, and the objective focus certainly going to be there as well. Nick doesn't connect that hook shot off the wall, so we'll go back to farming up that wave. And now you're seeing the rotations from the ball lane, but Arbitrio doesn't get the root up. Solar Flare just goes wayward of Idris. He's still going to get away. Feathers go out, will kill. The Ezreal shot down over his Zaya, and it looks like the disengage from Chihuahua just a little bit too late.
Yeah, Idris playing it up aggressively, ends up getting caught as well, using that mobility for an engage. Ends up being the mistake that cost them this Rift Herald, as Queen's Revenge are going to be pouring in to this Rift Scuttler pit here. And despite the fact that they did not pick up a win in the bot lane, they get a turret. So this is an even trade at best for Queen's Revenge, despite the mistake from Idris. OP Killswitch is going to be covering that mistake.
Oh, Barrage. Good attempt. We're seeing these globals come in. Mega Inferno Bomb didn't go out there, I believe, to try and secure that one. His neck gets the hex stick on me. I'm on to the Fat Man, but it's going to be Twisted Advance onto the Wukong.
Nice
Uses Ghost to get away, but he's still going to fall there. Arbitrio, that's a double kill for Chihuahua, just like that. That goal lead was close, and now it's starting to sail away again. Psychopather might be in trouble here. Chihuahua goes on to him regardless. He's going to be followed up by the Ezreal as well. Weaver's Wall comes out to disengage the Maokai. Is successful from Robot. Using the Weaver's Wall defensively. Already showing signs of a problem.
Yeah, Queen's Revenge kind of falling apart at this stage. And it's just all due to that early game and that mid-game mishap from the bot lane, Arbitral and Cray Dog. They just stay too long in the lane. Kill switch here, doesn't get stunned, but the slow comes through. They're going for a hard engage. Cray Dog doesn't get the Zenith Blade. And now we're 10 seconds away from a dragon here, Lamb. And so far, Elysium Blaze, their control over the map has been amazing. And they may not have the first move to Dragon, but they have the range and the Maokai ult to contest. TP coming out. Queen's Revenge know that the game is riding on this Dragon.
Queen's Revenge don't want to let this one go off, and Chihuahua just going to walk straight into Cray Dog. Gets interrupted again, displaced and shut down. The Maokai, he got that quick double kill. He'll fall. The Arcane Comet hits onto Cray Dog. That was ultimate from Ziggs. A big cooldown already down. Psychopath are being fended off. The Dragon, they just can't land with this Ezreal, and Ziggs are just hitting them from out of nowhere, and they have to get off the Dragon. Will the steal come through though? Sergeant Roebuck, he's on that surfboard, making sure nobody's in the vicinity. They're on top of a ward right now. They can see all four members of Elysium Blaze. Will the play come through? Arbitrio, he's actually on ward duty himself, and this Dragon will reset once again. Enough to let Psychopath try and get back here. Makai is hightailing it straight to that Dragon right now. Barrage hits on Natalia, the only member that's not going to heal up in this skirmish. Still pulling aggro on the Dragon. Kremsis is on a nice edge.
Chihuahua coming on the flank here. Can he get in?
No Nature's Grasp either. It's not available. Cyclone going to be activated from Queen's Stakes. Queen's Revenge. The first one is thrown down the gauntlet. They're going to get the Dragon as well. Following up, they drop the Camille Homie into the meat grinder. Kiss goodbye to the Rakan. And Nick will follow as well. Weaver's Wall used aggressively. This time, Twisted Advance onto the Fat Man.
Nice.
Pull back. Great seismic shove to secure the kill. And Psychopather gets the second kill of his game.
Okay, Killswitch, he pushed in mid lane while all that was happening, gets himself an inhib turret, actually is just being majorly clutch right now. Unfortunately, is going to go down, give over that 200 gold bounty, but he's really holding up the team for Elysium Blaze right here. Oh, he's surrounded. Ziggs is not going to get up out of this situation, but is stalling them quite a bit.
He got some Cray Dog's back.
Yeah, stops his back.
Not enough. Okay.
Just stops his back. Why not? You're gonna die anyway. But Queen's Revenge, they pick up a huge win there, Lamb. They win that dragon fight as homie, not the homie there from Idris, he was trying to back. They pick up the win at that fight. They desperately needed it. And Elysian Blaze stayed a bit too long. If they weren't going to contest, that dragon should have got out of there, but they stuck around too long, and they let Queen's Revenge get off an amazing engage on them. And now the game is a little back in their favor. It's not completely there, but they have a window to win now.
Well, we have reached that 20-minute mark in this game as well. Ahead in the kills is Queen's Revenge, but the goal lead still remains. Even after all that skirmishing, that goal lead hasn't even moved. It might move a little bit forward now. Ultimate comes out from Ziggs to try and clear that wave. Unsuccessful. Cuts that gold lead down to about 1,200 now, so it's a little bit better. It was 2,000, but again, Queen's Revenge, they use that Rift Herald to full effect. It is the second one of the game, so albeit it's not as powerful as the first, but regardless, they dropped that first tier in the mid lane.
All right, that's going to get them some recuperation on their gold losses this game. Goalie getting even yet again, as Baron is the only major objective up right now. No one feels really too confident to take it, as Kraydog, he's been really loose with these ultimates here, and he's just trying to get a pick onto that juicy recon.
Itchy trigger finger, I think. Overexcitement can't get you with the Leona, the Solar Flare, not on that long of a cooldown, so Kraydog will have it back up in contention for this Baron. They can see everything that's happening in this north side of the river anyway, so not a big deal for Queen's Revenge. If you get the Rakan, you get him, but if not, then you're only going to give over that ultimate. It's not going to be the flash like before, but Kraydog certainly got the number of homie in this one. They're not homies, Grims, they're not homies. Homies don't do that. Homies tuck each other in at night. I'm not talking from personal experience here, but don't know where I'm going with it. Let's get back to the game. 1,000 gold lead now in favor of Elysian Blaze. Can they close this out though? They are a dragon behind, so that soul point is coming, and then just less than 2 minutes here for the side of Queen's Revenge. Can they contest this one? Because the fights have actually looked pretty close until that Talia starts popping off with the combinations.
They really have to avoid the engage on the side of Elysian Blaze. You can see once they have their poke set up, it's really difficult for Queen's Revenge to challenge them. But as soon as they step forward an inch too far, that's when we can see the engage pull through. The Leona ultimate comes down. Kraydog's in there causing massive disruptions. And then they can get the kills with Queen Styx, Gragas. There's just a lot of power in that engage there. So we'll see if they can keep it up here. But Elysian Blaze, they have to avoid these engages somehow to win this game.
Avoiding engages, Psychopath just walks in a straight line, and unfortunately Nick does not abide by that. But the Camille going to persistently push in the Gragas. Remember, Camille actually was in a free lane thus far. Probably about 15 minutes into the game, and now Gragas 2 kills to the good. He's got that Seraph's fully stacked. And he also has a Rod AJ stacking consistently as well. It's going to be the quickness pop there. Great Weaver's wall from Sergeant Roebuck. But Kraydog gets that one. A fight back in the bot lane. Might be just looking to pad the stats there. Again, it gets exciting for a second. And then they disengage. But they're going to walk away. Queen's Revenge. They get another pick on the AD carry.
He didn't have flash until right now, Lamb. So that timer, if they were keeping track of it, is perfect, and they get that in right before the dragon as well. So Queen's Revenge, they're actually pulling off their comp here. They're getting the picks, despite the fact that Ezra Khan are extremely difficult to kill. And now, if Chua walks in too far, they might have another one lined up.
Oh, Queen Styx actually gets a flash out with the Ziggs there. So already down onto the mid lane. Mega Inferno Bomb on 3 members, a lot of damage. Barrage from downtown, snipes Zaya. Shutdown goes back over Yadris, and Nick gonna go over there. Hextech Awame, I'm gonna go down on Natalia, the second carry. About to fall, that goes over at Homie. Explosive catch knocks 2 out of the way. OP kill switch, the pincer in. Can they get the damage here because they're peeling them back? Psychopath are across the wall, and Idris just going crazy on the Israel. Attack back on the OP kill switch. That's a knock up onto the Wukong. Queen Styx goes down. Started the all and will fall here. Back forward. Arcane Shift, aggressive play from the AD carry. Picks up the 4th kill of his game.
That went all kinds of crazy when Orbital fell, especially for Queen's Revenge, such a huge member for damage, kiteback, and peel. Didn't even see the barrage coming and didn't use the Feather Storm to survive. Otherwise, Queen's Revenge do a lot better at that fight. So despite the early pick, they go a little bit too far onto kill switch. They pulled into a fight they can't win. Orbital falls, and now they lose the dragon. It's evened up yet again, 2-2. This is a neck and neck game, and this is just our first one, Lamb.
2 and 2 makes 4, Crims.
Yeah, there's 4 total. Lamb has the math on lock. He's the math expert here, of course, as we are moving into this game. Lamb, what is the gold lead that that Elysian Blaze has in this game?
I'm retired from
that was quick.
No.
That was quick.
It's over
Didn't
for me.
stay long.
I
Didn't
got
stay long.
excited at 2 plus 2 is 4.
You were gonna get tenure as a math professor, but I guess you're just gonna retire right now. Just
That's
like
egregious.
Killswitch might be retiring in this game.
Well, he doesn't have the flash. That was blown in the mid lane. Can he get the satchel with safety? It doesn't look like he gets interrupted twice. Okay, Craig Dog missed that one for style points. Wukong will secure the kill onto the mid laner of Elysian Blaze, and that goal lead now, Crims, 1900. What do you think about those numbers?
All right, it is fluctuating quite a bit, and with their clutch member dropping here, it doesn't look like they can do much to contest the Baron Vision, and that might be the onus for Queen's Revenge to start up this Baron. And it looks like they're going to take this opportunity. 20 seconds on kill switch, but he has TP.
Oh, remember, they can poke them out so good here, and that's going to be a disengage from Homie. Gets away, holding on to that quickness for dear life, and they will force them off the Baron. A valiant attempt, but it's been foiled here.
I actually think it was a good play from the side of Queen's Revenge. They burned a TP for not that much, Lamb. So now Nick can't be split pushing that major thorn in their side. Psychopather has the TP advantage now. And so I think that's actually a good play for them. They burned a TP for not much, and now they can flex their own side lane advantage with the Gragas here.
Vision wars are fully online. Look how much vision Elysian Blaze have around here. They definitely don't want that Baron going down. Going over is going to prove very hard to deal with. Ezreal and Ziggs not the greatest in clearing Baroned up minion waves. So if they can foil any attempt on that, then they're going to successfully do. But they do even out the dragons in this game. We see just over 2.5 on the next one. Soul point for either team here, Crimson. This is a great showing for Queen's Revenge. Like we already mentioned pre-show, that regular season form, it goes way out the window. They've kept the gold lead to just about 2,000, and they're not going away.
It's more about the player matchup, the team stylistically. How do these teams match up, and what kind of draft that they put together here? Elysian Blaze, they're going with this poke style with the Ezreal and the Ziggs. And if you're in control of the game, it's really strong. But as soon as you lose control, you can see Queen's Revenge, they have moments to win here. So both of these teams playing on execution.
Oh, Homie interrupted. Homie going down. Weaver's Wall comes out for a little bit overkill there. Oh, Ezreal might get caught out. He actually gets away from that one. Has to use the flash. 5-minute cooldown. But look at all the wards. They have to clear them first.
I like their dedication to picking up this Baron, and they're not scared to pull the trigger on it either. They get the kill, and they're moving right in. Homie is down and out, and now 22k on the Baron.
Not an Ziggs gets the Baron with a Mega Inferno Bomb, and now they are transitioning. They're trying to get something back. Queen's Revenge, they might get picked apart here. Shutdown over to Ziggs in the mid lane. Now the Feathers go out and fights on two fronts. Ezreal just poking the hell out of Queen's Revenge, and they're going to amass no revenge in that one. Psychopath has to use the flash, slows down the Ezreal. Tries to get the reduction in the cooldown by hitting the grab, but not enough to get the Fat Man. He's the sole survivor of the 4 that fell.
All right, that Baron steal away from Killswitch is huge. And with that inhibitor turret taken away hours before, they're going to use that to get this inhib as well. And now they're looking for more.
Psychopather, yo, baby. OP Killswitch. Styling 4th kill of the game for the Ziggs here. Charms up, Cray Dog first. Offensive quickness we've seen, and it's enough to get the job done. Elysium Blaze clutch game 1 of the series.
All right, they pick up that win and they won it in an extreme fashion. As soon as that Baron went down, Lamb, they just steamrolled through mid. Killswitch set it up from before, and they get an easy route into that very, very, very necessary Nexus. They picked that up, and that game looked like it was going to go the distance, Lamb, but it looks like Elysium Blaze said, nope, we're cutting it short right here.
Yeah, just sub 30 minutes on that one. 2 dragons apiece. I mean, the game was close for the majority of it until OP Killswitch and Idris. They just had so much damage in the tank. The Ezreal pathing in those fights was incredible. And Ziggs's job was just to hit multiple people with that ultimate. You could see the health bars just disintegrate as soon as OP Killswitch pulled that trigger. And man, it looked so good. They were clumped up, and eventually, once they lost that Baron, then it was desperation attempts to actually get through and get something back. It wasn't enough. They got pulled back, and I believe even the short fuse passive of Ziggs actually killed, I think it was the Gragas. No, he was the sole survivor. I think it was the Talia, actually. Once Talia walked up there, and it was an auto attack from OP Killswitch, just drops him right there. So very unfortunate things happened. But for Queen's Revenge, again, it's a really good showing for game 1. You go back to the board, you reset the mental. This is a best of 5.
Yeah, they certainly had chances to win in that game. They made multiple good picks and plays onto IGs. Unfortunately, they weren't able to net the game there because the Ziggs pressure on that side lane, absolutely massive. I mean, mostly picking up a ton of gold for the team, but also taking out turrets, was able to get that mid inhib as well. And it just led to that easy victory after the Baron. So I have to shout out a lot of credit to OP Killswitch here. Did a lot of work in that game. Was a clutch factor in many occasions. And I'm going to assume did the most turret damage in the whole game.
Unfortunately, statistics just said we're not going to be working today. So they're taking the day off. But we know, based off of what we've seen, who done actually the most damage in that game. It's got to be the Ziggs. Hitting multiple Mega Inferno Bombs on multiple people is exactly how you want to play this champion. Look, didn't look how he placed. Even in the laning phase, took the game to the Talia. We've seen a few defensive Weaver's Walls come out from Sergeant Roebuck. It really didn't even get into the same places. Seen it go aggressive once or twice, and it spelled really good things. And then all of a sudden, Elysium Blaze, they steal the Baron. They make it happen. Goodbye, Crims. What the hell is that? Crims! Somebody's got Crims! What's going on? Bring him back right now. Who took him? Who took him? I mean, we're going to cut to a small break while these technicalities get figured out here. But once we come back, we'll be getting ready for game 2 between Elysium Blaze and Queen's Revenge. Don't go anywhere, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Nobody panic. I found him. Crims is back. Explanation, Crims, what happened? Tell us what happened.
There were some assassins sent after me. I had to fend them off for a while. They did cut power to my house, but I did restore it. I was able to survive, and I'm back. And I'm here to give you guys the correct information on these games. Lamb, where would you be without me?
Probably fending off more assassins.
Yeah, you had the morning assassins, and they sent the evening ones to my house.
They have them on shift work now.
It's a full-time job. Lamb.
That's unbelievable, honestly. I mean, I would never have seen that. I wonder how they advertise that. Looking for assassins part-time.
Yeah. Well, they've been fended off for now. Hopefully they won't make a return, as we're going to be coming into game number 2 here. Elysium Blaze, they win that game in a blink of an eye after that Baron steal. And now Queen's Revenge, they have to do some recuperating on that game, as well as maybe a new draft strategy.
Oh, new draft strategy. And I mean, we go back to Queen's Revenge. They look pretty good in that one. Now they've got a little bit of thinking to do, right? Because down 1-0 against such a team in hot form, Elysium Blaze, how did they topple this colossal titan right now, Crims? How did they do it?
Yeah, I think their draft actually was solid, but maybe they just couldn't find the right answer to that Rakan Ezreal lane, despite the fact that I think that's a perfectly acceptable bot lane into them as well, including the blind pick. They just didn't get enough advantages. Kraydog tried his best, but wasn't able to find anything. So we'll see if they are adapting into this one, as they are on the blue side here yet again. So we'll see the Xayah first pick again. I don't think it was bad, but I really think they should perform better on it.
Let Hecarim through. Just let him cook. Give him a chance.
No.
Yes. Do you know how long it's been since I casted over Hecarim, Crims? I can't even remember.
Oh, it had to be when you manhandled the draft to create Hecarim.
That's correct.
And then
I did that.
Oh, that was like maybe 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's been a while.
What was the result of that, Crims? What was the result of that one?
Let's not talk about that one. It's a travesty. As we have the Ziggs. I mean, OP Killswitch did so good on the pick. They're going to take it out of the pool here. I think it was smart because that was a lot of work being done from the mid laner of Elysium Blaze.
Well, let me just tell you. See this guy over here? That guy? He thinks Ken and Jungle's good. Anyway,
I did not think that. Anyway.
Let's go back to the picks and bans here. The more important thing on the menu today is Queen's Revenge and Elysium Blaze. We can see that hyper focus in the junglers, but an adaptation for Queen's Revenge, they take away the Ziggs. So obviously they have to put respect down to OP Killswitch. You played that champion phenomenal, by the way. Was very successful with the ultimates. The damage chart certainly showed that as well. If we could show everybody, then you would kind of get a glimpse into that. But it is Ziggs, and hitting those every single time on multiple people is going to get you up there. But Queen's Revenge still going to prioritize that Xayah.
Okay, the Xayah being picked up yet again. I hate this. Lamb. Zac into Xayah. I don't see the thought process there. They're going to take the Rakan away yet again. But yeah, this Zac pick I think is terrible. Xayah can dodge the Zac engage and then lock him up, and now he's stuck in the front line to get beat up on despite being a tank. I don't like the Zac pick at all. So Elysium Blaze throwing me in a loop here.
So for Elysium Blaze, could they just be stat checking? Could they be like, well, we're comfortable in this game, so let's just pick what we find is going to work best for us, regardless of what the opposition pick here? Because I have to agree that picking Zac into the Xayah, a little bit questionable. I mean, Elastic Slingshot into Feathers and no lockdown, and then peel to death, and then, you know, the benefit is Zac, he does have that other chance. He's got that Cell Division passive, so maybe Elysium Blaze can combo it with something else. Rakan's going to be taken away from the Xayah again, and another hard engaged champion is going to be locked in for this bot lane duo of Queen's Revenge. And that Leona didn't do too bad, but you could say there was a little bit of just antsiness about Kraydog. Just couldn't wait to unleash that onto the Rakan. But with the Nautilus, it's going to be a little bit more punishing, because once he's in melee distance of you, you're not moving.
Yeah, Nautilus is a lot easier to pull off, has harder lockdown as well. The Q comes out pretty fast with the anchor toss. So they're going for something a little like it's not as optimized, it's not the best like Leona is, but more guaranteed. So I like the Nautilus pick here, and Nautilus Zaya very strong. So they're going to be picking up a strong bot lane here. Jace is going to be on the field for Elysium Blaze. Is a flex pick now. Lamb, if you don't know, can visit the mid lane every now and again. And the Zac, I mean, doesn't have to be jungle. So Elysium Blaze might be doing a bit of flexing, showing off their muscles in this game.
Yeah, well, with not picking your AD carry here, it means you're open to additional bans. So we'll see if Queen's Revenge want to take any away. They're going to take away the Ezreal. Obviously, they realized that poke composition they couldn't really do, but Elysium Blazer said, okay, we're going to stick with that a little bit because the Jace is going to be there. You've got that hard engage with the melee that this champion offers, as well as the range. So execution, everything's going to be so important for Elysium Blaze to actually set it up. Jace, I love this champion. I think he's just so good in that micro, in that 1v1. You can go in, disengage, pull out that gun. I don't know what it's called, man. It's been a while since I actually seen Jace on it. Yeah,
Hextech hammer. I don't know what it is.
I know the hammer. The laser. Okay, well, let's just call it the freaking laser beam, dude. Let's just call it that. Jace will be able to snipe anybody out if they're low enough, and of course, he has that ability to try and take over the game. We'll see if they can pair that up with anything else. But it reaps the question: what do they take into the AD carry spot here? Because there's multiple choices still available.
So the Jace still opts into that poke composition that they did earlier here. Now they back it up a little more engaged, and they're going heavy dive with the Kai'Sa. Zac, Rakan, Kai'Sa. This is a dive comp. Kai'Sa pairs up better with Rakan, but they do have an issue now because the Xayah and Nautilus are going to be able to peel quite a bit. So Elysium Blaze, some people like this matchup. I'm not a fan of it myself. I think Xayah can get out of these situations. And now Elysium Blaze have basically folded. They've shown their entire comp here now, Lamb. They're saying, we're going to dive you guys, and we're going to try to pick up kills on the back line.
Well, diving onto the Gragas Nautilus can be a little bit tricky. And of course, Yone has that Soul Unbound if used in the right place. Otherwise, you're point and click for pretty much everybody on this team. Karthus, okay. Queen's Revenge have basically laid down the gauntlet. Hard farming jungler in the Karthus, which means that might be the Gragas going top and Yone going mid here. I would suspect that's going to be the case.
Yeah, that is probably the most likely. They could switch depending on the scenario here. I think you probably want Yone to follow around or avoid the Jace matchup. Gragas can do better early, but they can switch eventually at one point in time here as Veigar going to be putting a stop to all those dashes. But, Lamb, we're going to put the Veigar to a side as we talk about this Karthus here, because they just picked Karthus into a heavy dive comp. Queen's Revenge, they're adapting to the draft very well here. So they have the Xayah, Gragas, and Karthus. If Elysium Blaze try to overforce and engage, they're going to get absolutely obliterated by these three core combo here. And the Karthus is going to be able to just spit them out, completely chew them up. There's going to be so much damage from this Karthus blending machine, plus the Xayah root down.
Well, I can tell you this, that even if you foil the attempts to Karthus and farming early, it's not enough to do it one time. It's not enough to do it 2 times. It's not enough to do it 3 times. You have to constantly invade this jungler. You need to make sure that Karthus cannot play the game. And that's if it is Karthus jungle. Of course, it can still be flexed around into that mid lane. I want to say, other than that, I wouldn't want to see Karthus go on top. That's very troll. In fact, I've probably had that in my solo queue games quite a couple of times. That's where I am. I blame the teammates, not myself. But look, Crims, when we look at this composition from Queen's Revenge, okay, they've got safety again in the Xayah, displacement through Gragas Nautilus, and it's scaling. They got the hard scaling Yone, they got the hard scaling Karthus, but the biggest thing that I see on Elysium Blaze, they have tools to deal with these champions. Jace can't get in there and explode one of them. They have the reserve and the Veigar if they need him. And of course, with the AD carry Kai'Sa, with the way that they played the game around that AD carry, it's just like, well, there's answers all across the board, and these micro matchups are going to be even more enhanced in this one than they were in the first game.
Yeah, the Jace pick is absolutely massive now, because that's their best answer to the Karthus, to the Xayah, is that poke. They don't want to over-engage here because of the Xayah-Karthus combo I was talking about. They have the Veigar as well to shut down the engage. Gragas, Nautilus, Yone, these are all dash champions that have to get in melee range. the Vhagar cage is going to provide lots of zone control here. So they do have answers on the side of Elysium Blaze. Just the one issue is that 3 of their champions, which is a majority of their comp, is the dive comp here, and that's being completely countered on the other side. So they have to really flex this Jason Vhagar. They have to be in a good spot. They have to be able to put out a lot of control and poke in order to win this game here. And considering game number 1, I think Killswitch is definitely someone who can do that on the Vhagar. Just so much poke and control in that game. We'll see if he can do it again on this game. And Nick Lowe's also had a great time in that top side. So 2 of the champions, or 2 of the players that I think did really well on Elysium Blaze side, and they're going to be able to show that they can carry these games. This is the comp to do it.
Well, the Zac was banned away in game 1, so maybe there was a reason for that. But again, Into Desire, not really the predominant target. I mean, the guaranteed thing is for Elysium Blaze, if they get on the Karthus, they probably kill him. But Karthus is passive. The more itemization that he has, the more scaling ability that he's got, it's going to prove difficult to actually fight within that range of Karthus. If you focus him down, he can still be a threat, even into the Nether Realm. It doesn't really matter if you focus down this jungler or not. But Yone, again, very skill express champion. Can you get the combinations to get the solo kills? Because Yone wants that. He wants to be accelerated. You pair that with Agragas. I want to see this Nautilus influence other lanes. I think you've got free roam in this one. I think that license definitely going to be achieved. And if you can get to that mid lane, I mean, you can set it up really nicely. You know, that Vhagar, 9 times out of 10, if he doesn't have that cage, he's in trouble, has to use a flash. If he uses a flash, then he needs to just farm with a Baleful Strike, which for the majority of the time, Crimped, he's going to do anyway. But if you make him think twice about stepping up in that lane, it means that that confidence could be a little bit tricky for OP Killswitch. But going off of game 1, that's going to be a hard mental to get past, honestly.
Yeah, the Gragas going to be really annoying for Killswitch here, because if anytime you just take a step too far, you're going to get cast right into their team, and then you're going to be completely eaten up by Sergeant and Roebuck in the mid lane there. So that matchup, Vhagar has to play very safe, and Karthus is not a very good ganker, so the Zac Vhagar, there's an opportunity for them to do a lot of damage likewise to the Yone from Sergeant Roebuck here. That bot lane though, this Kai'Sa Rakan, you talked about it a little bit here, and I agree. Kraydog or Habitual, they should have major control of this lane. They have so much CC and it can be comboed together. They really have to play safe. Even Rakan is going to take some bad trades and he won't be able to get out of it. So they're going to be farming in the mid lane from both these junglers. I think the Karthus pick here is huge. So we'll see if Queen Sticks can use it to carry this game. Otherwise, it's going to be on OP Killswitch and Nick Lowe's. Those are the 2 contenders for who's going to win this game.
Well, just to reiterate the fact too as well, guys, get your predictions in. I mean, Mr. Lucan, the producer, 22,000 all in. The majority is going to be him. Who wants to try and cash in? I mean, Elysium Blaze. Yeah, he's a high roller, but for how long? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. And again, guys, remember the clip competition. I believe it still extends. So get your clips in, especially of this handsome guy right next to me. This man. I mean, apart from that hairdresser scenario, we don't want to go over that again. But guys, we're going to cut to a small break. When we come back, we'll be getting ready again in game 2 between this titanic matchup. Can Elysium Blaze go 2-0 or Queen's Revenge going to even up the standings? Find out right after this. Quarterfinals. Best of 5. 1 to the good. It's the side of Elysium Blaze. They just pick up that game and take it. They got that Baron steal through OP kill switch on that Ziggs. Finds himself on the Veigar now, Crims. So scaling up. You could argue that, you know, Yordle City, they like to scale. The Veigar going to be in the same department. He's got first strike as well, so he's looking to get paid every single time.
Every trade gonna make him stronger and stronger. Every kill gives him more AP. So OP kill switch just gonna become his namesake eventually in this game. One button press and it's gonna be a kill on this Veigar here. A lot of action in this bot lane. I'm really hoping Orbital and Kraydog do what this bot lane is destined to do. Kill Rakan. That is what they need to have to win this game here, Lamb. So we're gonna see both junglers pathing down to that very important bot lane because we know it's dragon hunting season. Both of these teams want to get that stacked.
Yep, everybody likes a good dragon hunt. In this one, there's less hunting and there's more just fighting amongst yourselves until you get it. But regardless, dragon hunting season is definitely going to be the factor in this one. And again, the Nautilus, they took the Leona into the Rakan. I thought it fared pretty well early on, Crims, honestly. Now Kraydog's got this anchor, which he lands with the staggering blow passive. Feathers go out as well. That's going to be a good trade. Over already showing glimpses of what's to come for the Queen's Revenge bot lane.
Queen's Revenge landing the hook early. Going to use it to try to take control, but this lane is pretty neck and neck. Who gets level 2 first? I think it's actually going to go to Elysium Blaze. They get control.
Homie walks forward and Kraydog will eat that one from Kaiser. Kitty and Rain goes back over onto Orbital, but this wave is going to push in, so going to feel nice and safe in the jungle right now. Zach clearing the full red side, working his way back down. So again, both junglers, Karthus farms pretty dang quick as well, Crims. So they're going to meet each other eventually down here in the bot side.
Yeah, both these junglers like to full clear Zach for ganking purposes, and Karthus just because he's a vacuum cleaner of the jungle. And he's one of the fastest clears in the game. So gonna get to bottom first, but I don't think they're gonna go for a gank on this Karthus. It's just not the ganking champion, and you know Chihuahua's gonna be right around the corner.
Well, even if he is around the corner, he doesn't necessarily need to take the path in, the elastic slingshot. The more points you put in it, the further the distance that you can go. Sergeant Roebuck misses Immortal Steel as he goes out aggressively onto OP kill switch. And Veigar right now in full control with that lane. Nick going back onto Psychopather. Missing out on the minions for now. Knocks the fat one away. Fat man. The fat man away. But Nick's just going to farm that wave up.
I think either or works, Lamb. Didn't have to tongue twister yourself there. As it looks like Psychopath are going to take the first back against Nick. And the first scuttle going to be rewarded to Elysium Blaze because of that bot lane push here. So Karthus actually might be losing out on double scuttle. Queen Stick's going to be behind.
Oh,
Sergeant
Nick
Roebuck.
gets in trouble. Why would you
Wow.
overstay? Because Psychopath, the name describes him. Action in the bot lane again. Homie fronting for the Kaiser. Gets rooted up by the Feathers. Homie goes forward. No knock up to be had. The
Kraydog's
tree
low.
still going forward. Still taking damage. Onto Kraydog. Gets the anchor.
Oh, the shield.
Shot comes out as well. Karthus looking to clean this
misses.
one up. They'll return one back. They actually trade. Orbital shows interest. Homie, who's the kill going to go onto? That was a good move, but that lay waste going to lay waste to the Rakan in that bot side.
Queen's Revenge pick up 3 kills, and honestly completely blindsided by that first blood, as Nick had flashed the entire time. Didn't expect the hard engagement Psychopath there, and I didn't as well. And that bot side though, they get the double kill, Lamb, and it's going to be a kill onto Queen Sticks and Orbital, exactly where they want that spread. Karthus getting a nice little pick me up in the jungle for losing both scuttles, and now Queen's Revenge looks like they might have that power activation they need to take over the bot lane and hopefully these dragons.
Strap yourself in. This one's going to be exciting. Following the same trends, by the way, but for the first time in this series, Queen's Revenge have amassed the gold lead this early on in the game. It's only 5 minutes in, so we're still yet to see Zach get involved in Chihuahua. Certainly going to make his presence felt. Returns to the map right now. Picked up that Kindle gem, so CDR going to be definitely in the priority of the Zach to make sure you can get those spells off in time. That utility this champion offers, as well as frontline, going to be also important. But again, all the action in the bot lane, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop, because Chihuahua is right around that corner you were talking about, Crims.
Yeah, sitting in the bush, hoping to blindside Queen's Revenge here. The thing is, he's not level 5 yet, so this is the level 2 slingshot. Nowhere near as much range as they would hope. Arbitral was playing up as well, doesn't get the root, and they're just going to be engaging. Kraydog going crazy.
Kraydog, he eats the stretch and strike, flash forward, pulls back in Arbitral. The flash is late from the Zaya, and Idris gets that one.
Oh, they get baited eventually. I thought that Chihuahua was just going to go ahead, start farming up. Queen Styx is here late. I keep getting baited by these engages. I don't think anything's going to happen, and then all of a sudden, in a flash, it's a fight.
Queen Styx attempting on one of the homies' lives. That's got to feel bad. But that dragon going to be started up here, Chihuahua. I said he's going to make his presence felt. He did with that gang. The flash forward, stretch and straights combination so strong and really unplayable unless you flash it almost instantly. And Arbitral just held on to that summoner for a little bit too long.
Yeah, that despite how well the first kills in the bot lane gets turned around, and they lose their dragon opportunity yet again. Queen's Revenge, they just can't seem to get a real solid start in the bot lane into a nice dragon pickup despite how early game goes.
Picking up the pace isn't a bad thing in this one. Berserker's Greaves picked up for Sergeant Roebuck. He'll be picking up the pace, pushing in that mid lane against the Veigar. Yone very good into this champion right now in OP kill switch. I mean, he's happy enough to just eat up these waves. As long as there's no attention going on to that Veigar. Thus early on, he's actually picked up that tier as well. So he's not looking to fight this early on in the game, and will have to keep track of his phenomenal evil power. He gets additional AP ability off that. But Psychopather missed that explosive cask, and Roebuck is going to show. So they'll see the roam with the Yone. Zach looks like he's not even going to cross that river, but that's a good ward to spot the jungler in the mid of Queen's Revenge.
A massive wave getting pushed in bottom. Rift Herald coming up soon. Looks like Queen 6 is already there. Ahead on the jungle clear, that is for sure. Level 6 on the Karthus. Chihuahua is behind. Hits that level 6 right now. So they are going to be able to contest if they wish. Sergeant Roebuck pushing up mid lane here. And that's the objective that I got my eye on for both teams. They have some vision in the area, and they are going to want to pick this one up. That is for certain. No team makes a play just yet as Homie goes in.
Oh, he gets his challenge down on the Kraydog. He'll walk that one away. Arbitral! Oh, what is Rakan doing? Homie gets killed on the front line. Feathers go out in trees. Arbitral tanks the turret shot. A little bit of a misplay, but claims the double kill over the bot lane of Elysium Blaze.
All right, kind of a miss up from Arbitral. Just the way I said it, as didn't use the ultimate to reset the turret aggro. Instead, just uses it for damage, doesn't end up getting the kill, and then overextends. So that was an unfortunate mistake. Still picks up the kill. That bot lane, this Nautilus slam, it's turning out a lot better than the Leona.
Well, Homie doing what homies do best. They give their lives for the homies. How many times we probably actually play on that?
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Roebuck going to take that soul bound, not interrupted by the cage. That's why Yone's so good into this champion. Kraydog made the roam. I wanted to see this, and that's exactly going to happen. Roots up the Veigar. Oh, he's getting the back off right in front of him. Okay, Kraydog, we see you, big dog. And he sets up Roebuck for the first kill of his game.
Yeah, he uses the ultimate with the flash buffer for an instant knockup as well. So mechanics being shown here. Homie going for a kill on Queen Styx, but Kraydog is here. Chihuahua over the wall.
Homie has to make Zach think twice, actually. Going on to the Zach over the wall there. A little bit of miscommunication, maybe, but Chihuahua is here, and Kraydog and Arbitral, they know he's here, and they don't respect the range of the Zach. Arbitral gets shut down, and that goal goes on to Chihuahua again over the wall. Kraydog looking at the assistance of Queen Styx. Can he get a late waist down and slow him down? The anchor goes wide of Chihuahua. goes into the foggy water in that brush. They won't find them anymore. 3-on-3. But it looks like that disengage is going to follow.
All right, the face sealed on Sergeant Roebuck is the main dissuading factor there. They're going to get a bit of a re-engage here, Chihuahua.
Sticks is okay. Gets tagged up by that stretch and strikes. Couldn't get pulled back, not in distance enough from Chihuahua. But again, we're keeping tabs on this jungler, and it's proven to be the mitigating factor down there in the bot lane. When Xayah gets ahead, they get pulled right back to even.
All right, 1 minute on this dragon. Both these teams just sending all their ganks bot side, as this bot lane heavily contested here. So far, Psychopath are doing a lot better in this matchup. Did get the kill, but the CS, as we see here, Nick gonna be completing on that cull. Just needs one more, and there it is. Picks that up. So gonna be gold advantage, I think, in the top side here. So far is playing a lot safer now that he got solo killed. And this Jace well on his way to actually be scaling now. So Queen's Revenge, again, the onus is on them to make a play.
Oh, Vulcan's going to slow down OP kill switch. There's going to be an all-in from Sergeant Roebuck looking to get him. Death charge will kill the Veigar. And the Grey Dog's making it happen. Zach actually burning. Anchor lands. Cell Division going to be procced here. Nick, can he help the jungler? Doesn't look like it. Who's the kill going to? Grey Dog is just picking up everything. The Nautilus gets a quick double kill. And that dragon going to be the next thing for Queen's Revenge.
That looked like they were giving the kill to Grey Dog there. So a bit questionable, but huge fight win. Sergeant Roebuck on this Yone, finding the entrance into kill switch, picks up the kill, and Grey Dog finishes him off with the ultimate, chasing down that Veigar. And now they have evened up the dragons again. Very similar to game number 1. Although this time around, it's Queen's Revenge with the 2k gold lead. And Grey Dog is hunting for kills.
Grey Dog's actually got 150 gold shutdown. That'll go into Veigar. He goes a little bit too, again, a little bit too excited.
Yeah, needed to chill there. Needed to chill. Orbital on the bot side, picking up free plates. Did not need to go for that hook, as that was a 4v5 there. So probably going to be reassessing his gameplay and adjusting, hopefully, here. As Queen's Revenge, though, throughout all these plays, picked themselves up. Nice gold lead in the mid game, and not to mention, they are winning bot lane this time around, Lamb. That's the biggest difference, I think, in this game.
Yeah, Kai'Sa actually forced out the lane a little bit there, and Xayah left alone with the turret plates. Gets that turret down to 2. Turret plates left, 13 minutes into the game. And we're yet to see that big 5-on-5 yet. And Queen Sticks just casually making the way through this game. 1 kill to the Carthage, 2 assists, and Leandre is completed as well. Means that burn is going to be so significant, especially building to try and burst through the Zac, as he's actually picked up that Aegis as well. So, Radiant Virtue potentially for Chihuahua here. That is the good way to actually play this.
Okay,
they're going to go in onto the Kai'Sa. Homie disengages with the Grand Challenge there. Arbitral going forward, going to get exhausted. The damage is not going to go out. Feathers remaining there for a second. She'll pull them back. It's not going to root up anybody. That disengage from Elysium Blaze. His ball lane is good. Nick, see Psychopath there. Listen, Mercury. Okay, hold on. There's still action in the bot. Killer Instinct. Idris looking for a Habitual. Homie goes forward, burning them with the Ignite, and will get the kill. Requiem goes down. That's going to activate that burn, and Queen Sticks lands the lay waste onto the Rakan. They traded the AD carry for the support.
All right, little craziness in the bot side. Habitual goes down, but Queen Sticks just been picking up the kills where they've been left 2-0 and 2. And I think the huge factor is that CS lead in the jungle. Karth is so good at clearing. Has, cleared 6 more. Make that 7 more camps than his opponent in Chihuahua. And this is a massive lead for Karthus here. And I said it was going to be a main source of damage for the side of Queen's Revenge in team fights. As soon as they engage right into Queen Sticks, we're going to see the return fire be absolutely massive in these objective contests.
What comes to be highlight is how Karthus' game would be in a little bit of a troublesome state if he was early invaded. None of that has happened, actually. Queen Sticks is the one doing the invading right now. picks up that blue buff. So Chihuahua are going to be pretty upset about that one. Barking away, trying to get him out of there, but Karthus is going to get the back off as well. And you can see that CS discrepancy in that jungle, but more importantly for Chihuahua, now that Radiant Virtue is going to be completed.
Yeah, Queen 6, about 800 gold up, has completed the smite. So if a objective contest were happening right now, that'd be a huge advantage for the side of Queen's Revenge. Sergeant Roebuck going for a bit of a trade, as the Everfrost gonna stop that from being his doom. Kill switch though, not having as good as a time as game number 1 in this matchup here. Psychopather completing the Rod of Ages, so that's gonna be a huge factor in extending Gregus's power window against the Jace. And now we're 1 minute away from a contest going down. Queen Stakes farming up per usual. And so far, it looks like the Vision game is going over to Elysium Blaze.
That's very unfortunate for Chihuahua. Looked to sneak into the brush there, but like Crim's highlighted, that Vision game is just not there right now. Getting spotted out by that very important ward. I believe it's Kraydog that actually put that down there. No, actually, it was Xayah. Xayah got it.
Oh, whoa.
Psychopath down. Has to use the flash. Tanks way too many turret shots. The cannon comes out from Nick.
No.
Looking to get the hammer out. Gets the gate to speed him up for a second. Queen Sticks.
Wait a minute.
Coming around the corner. Looking for Nick. He's going to walk that one away. And all alone down in the bot side is our Bitcho. Roebuck. This looks very enticing for the Yoni here. Going to get engaged on. He might go for that solo and bound comes out. We're going to take a look what's happening back down in that bot side. Chihuahua setting up the dive. Homie going to tank it first.
Oh, nice route.
Sets it up on a plate. Good feathers to come out from the Xayah. Teleport coming in. Homie lives with a slither of health and gets it off that one. Requiem won't save the Rakan there. Queen Sticks hits that R button and secures the kill onto that support. It was a clean dive, but they still trade again. Xayah for Rakan.
All right, wasn't able to survive with the Featherstorm here, and now we got to find the mid lane. Sergeant
Roebuck
Roebuck
held on to the moral steal for that long, perfectly timed entries.
Oh, Queen
Getting
Sticks.
run down and burned from the Karthus, who just looks to skill infinitely in this game, untouched and still deathless.
All right, Karthus is a blender of death, and Sergeant Roebuck, Swordmaster, completely slicing and dicing his opponents here. The jungle mid combo, I didn't think it was going to do too well in this game, but they are able to scale up, make a bunch of solo plays on the side lane, and look how much work they're doing in this game. Queen Sticks is just absolutely massive, and Sergeant Roebuck, there's nothing Killswitch can do to dissuade this Yone. They don't have a great answer right now.
Well, they are shutting down the Xayah, but at what cost? Queen Sticks, 4-0. The Yoni, 2-0. 400 gold shutdown on it. The Karthus got to be really enticing for Elysium Blaze. They have to try and secure that if they want to get back into this game. So Manamoon as well for the Jays, getting stacked up there, ready for transformation very shortly. Already completed that call, like you already mentioned there, Crim. So more gold into the Jays. But again, this game, it seems to just be breezing on by for the Karthus and Yoni. They're not hard pushed at all, and it definitely shows in the performance they're putting in game 2.
Yeah, they're hitting their stride right now, and it doesn't look like Elysium Blaze has anything, as I was saying before. The poke from this Jace has been stuck in the side lane. Veigar cannot zone with the cage, despite his best efforts. Sergeant Roebuck getting in every single time. They need some way to zone and pressure in order to set up their poke field, and Nick Lowell's just been preoccupied in the side lane the whole game.
I do feel like Kraydog is making Elysium Blaze think twice about engaging. And anytime you see the Nautilus, you have to assume that there's multiple people with him. Why else would he go in? Just like this. Kraydog again. The anchor lands on Homie. He dances his way out. But this Nautilus is a problem.
I mean, there's no guarantee Kraydog is alone or not. he's been pretty crazy on these engages onto Homie. Just going in as soon as he sees him. Throws out that anchor. Has blood in his eyes here. They're going to try to pick up this turret.
Face sealed off both of the bot laners. Tanks the turret, but it's gone. Re-engage. So much damage from the mid laner. Queen's Revenge. It pulls Chihuahua back in. Requiem going to go down as well. Homie's still going to burn, but that's another Dark Harvest proc over to Queen Sticks. And we can check in right now. Sitting on 7.
All right, 7 Predator stacks. And that ultimate, once it ticks over, is going to start doing a lot of damage. Has 2 items, so that spike is hitting. And they're going to start feeling it. This Karthus well on his way to just completely halving the entire HP bar of Elysium Blaze at the click of 1 spell. Baron is up. No one's really got a foothold just yet, but I'm seeing the vision from Elysium Blaze. Despite being down in this game, Lamb, they're doing such a good job of getting vision around the map. It's unfortunate that they're just losing these fights. They're getting caught over and over again. Otherwise, this vision game is absolutely immaculate.
If you think about that Karthus ultimate, it's like that red button, Crims. You want to push it so bad, but you have to wait for the right time. In fact, if it's anything to do with the president, anything like that, do not press the red button under any circumstances. I very much doubt that Joe Biden would even listen. Anyway, that's a whole other ballgame. Look,
Yeah, you're Canadian. You don't get to talk
I'm not
about
even
that.
Canadian, baby. I'm an imposter. I'm an imposter.
Wait,
Oh, we're
no,
here.
you're not a Canadian citizen? All right, never mind that.
Nope.
His homie is running away.
I'm just here. Just like homie, he's in that river right now. Probably doesn't belong there. I actually belong here. I mean, we're not going to get into that discussion either. But they're still looking for a pick. You already mentioned that vision game so strong. Queen Sticks just going to push in that mid lane. Unconventional Veigar top lane push though. Does have that teleport to get out of trouble if they spot Kraydog. He's farming up that vision, and Veigar will get the back off. And again, Rakan hovering around Chihuahua, but I feel like the plays, they just don't have enough damage right now.
Yeah, certainly. Queen's Revenge are way stronger in the fight right now. They carries have so much more in the tank, and that Karthus from Queen Sticks, even if you kill him, there's just going to be so much damage that's going to be returned onto you. And despite the fact that Orbital has died multiple times, there's just been so many resources synced into the Xayah, and is able to just enable this Karthus to pick up a kill every single time. 30 seconds away from this dragon. If Queen's Revenge get it, that's going to be soul point. Huge for them. As I think finally Nick is going to be at one of these objectives. And we're going to see, is the Jace poke going to be effective?
Well, more gold into his pocket. Picks up that turret down there. And Zach is still sitting on this Herald, so still indecisive about where it wants to be. I feel like it just timed out. Nope, going to spawn it. Try and get this one down. Queen's Revenge, maybe we'll get this. No, that's going to go off. They do get the turret. Okay, maybe a little bit of a misplay there, but regardless, it's going to even out the turrets in that mid lane. And next focus is going to be the dragon for both of these teams.
All right, the first 5v5 of this game here. And they're going to try to pile through the jungle. Not a wise decision here. Sergeant
Robot, massive face shield onto 4. Needs a follow-up though. Is it going to come through? Goes back with a soul unbound to Kitty and Rain. Sends him back just less than 50% health. Good explosive cast to display the team. Queen Sticks gets burned on the front line. Very important that Elysium Blaze pull back. Don't fight in the Karthus. Ultimate goes out. The Red Queen still burning them. Here's going to be Tyson, Idris, the Gragas, Grey Dog on the back as well. Soul Unbound goes out, but your soul will be where it lays in the mid lane. Double kill for OP. Kill switch. Psychopather. Extremely healthy. Sidesteps the Everfrost. Turns back on the Nick Lows. Idris has to come in. Try and back him up here. Not going to be enough. Psychopather looking for the last kill of this onslaught. Everybody falls except the Fat Man. He walks away, or waddles away, with a double kill and the ace.
All right, Psychopather is able to clutch it in the end. But Queen's Revenge, I guess they weren't just satisfied with blowing a bunch of sums and flashing. Queen Sticks wants the kills, Lamb. Flashes in on the Karthus, but I think that was a bit of an overcommitment from Queen's Revenge. Luckily for them, Sergeant Roebuck is able to continue the fight with Psychopather, and they pick up the kills, and now they're in contention for soul points still. And Elysium Blaze, they don't get a free pass at that fight. The Jace, Nick, almost was able to win it back for them, but Psychopather cuts them off, and they were able to win this dragon fight.
Gragas just floating around that whole fight, pretty much untouched. Raw the Age is full stacked now for Psychopather, and that dragon is going to go over inside the Queen's Revenge. They're going to pick up their soul point in this game.
This is good.
But Baron has to be worrisome for them here. The pings are going down. Maybe looking for another fight. Great Dog just goes up again. He gets stunned by the cage.
Stunned.
Gets the flash over the wall. Greatly timed to get out with that one. Otherwise, the Nautilus falling for the 4th time in the game. Going to delay that for a second. Robot still looking for a pick. Second cast Immortal Steel. Knocks up Homie and Chihuahua. Going to go across. Explosive cast. It's Psychopath leading the charge for his team. Homie gets quickness out. Turns it back around. Dredgeland's going to be eaten again by him. Death charge lands on 2. Homie still walking. Psychopath are about to go down here. Shut down over the Zac. The feathers root them up for a second. Homie gets the grand challenge down on the Orbital. He has to use the flash himself. A lot of summoners going down here. A lot of calculations have to be made. Robot again. Exploding into the scene and exploding into the grey screen. He's going to go down. Anchor misses straight on the side of the terrain. Nick walking away. Idris just on the back. These artillery strikes not going to phase the Queen Sticks. Karthus, 6th kill of the game.
Lamb, what the hell are these team fights? They're absolutely insane. So much re-engaging and disengaging from both of these teams here. Sergeant Roebuck was the hero, but falls in battle as well. These fights are just complete chaos, and you're just doing an excellent job of following through here. I think something to point out, Psychopather and Queen's Revenge again overcommit, but in this fight, Queen Sticks is the one who remains on top, providing that damage in these fights here. And Homie, I think he's been doing a good job despite how difficult it is for him to get in on these fights, doing a lot of peeling this time around. And we're just waiting for that kill switch to get online. This Veigar is now doing very good in this game. Had a terrible early game, but has recovered in the mid game excellently. And Elysium Blaze, they're putting up a better fight consistently over the course of this game.
Right now, there's an additional 250 AP on OP kill switch right now. This Veigar stacking up that passive very successfully throughout this game. And he's still a threat. I mean, Rabadon's been complete for him as well. Is massive. That Primordial Burst is certainly going to one-shot to a certain extent. Anybody who is low enough, under 75% health, pretty much pick your target apart from Psychopath. They're going to be hard to cut through the Gragas. He is a bit of a problem on that front line, but he hit that stasis button very early on in that fight, and the rest of the squad completely unhinged. And you're seeing just how relentless and close these team fights can be. That goal lead less than 2,000 for the side of Queen's Revenge, but they're shaping up around this Baron. Can they take it?
Queen's Revenge, they get double 3-item spikes here, and they're saying now is the time to pounce on this Baron. They're really cutting it down. 6k, 5k, it's dropping, and there is no Chihuahua in sight. They pick up the Baron, and they are looking to close out this game here. Their power spikes on their damage. Orbital Queen 6 is online, and they are looking to close it out in sub 30 themselves.
Well, 29 minutes was the last one. Baron power play going to be online. Chihuahua waiting in the wings. The Fog of War. Homie looks like he was positioning aggressively. Thinks twice about that one. We'll keep that wave. Baroned up for now. Zac is not in the vicinity. They're going to allow Gragas to at least get that top lane inhibitor. That's going to be a while. It's going to be the turret instead. He'll be on the turret right now. He's actually there. Look at that. Look at the map right now. Cray Dog down to about 50% health. He's not going to choose an engage right now, but I do see the Gragas and the Yoni top. So now's the time to pull the trigger. Get the flash out of the Karthus. That's a big cooldown going this far in the game, but they haven't made this Karthus pay for very much in this game. Only one death.
Yeah, Queen Sticks died. Only time when he died was when he flashed in. 2 on the top side. Psychopath there might have just caught Nick.
Oh, he's backed up by Robug.
That's nice cast.
Sets it up beautifully for Robug. Action again, Queen Sticks. Used to have the flash, it's gone now. Teleport comes in from Psychopather. Everfrost a little bit too preemptive. It's not going to crash onto Psychopather. Actually gets rooted up by the Event Horizon. Oh, that's just 2 skills out of the Veigar there. Still holding on to that ultimate for now, level 16. So 3 points in that one for OP kill switch. Scaling is out of this world in this game, Crims, and a few champions have actually achieved that ceiling, and they're crashing through it now. Xayah kind of going unmissed. She died so many times in that early game, now has herself 3 items. So she is a champion in this one, and Orbital has to feel good about that. The CS lead over the Kaiser. Idris has looked threatening on this Kaiser as well. and only sitting on the 2 items right now, so working his way to that third and most important item for that Kaiser going forward. But you gotta feel that Yoni needs that Guardian Angel if he wants to try and survive these fights, because they're so close.
Has the Bloodthirster that's actually going to provide tons of healing on top of that Jack Show providing the tankiness. They're starting up the Dragon. Bold move from Elysian Blaze, but they have the tempo and they get it. So no soul. They just stop it right there, despite the map play with the Baron from Queen's Revenge here. This is the cost though. They're going to just push down the mid lane. They're going to eviscerate this turret and move on to that inhibitor as Chihuahua is flanking on the side. Psychopather might have been caught.
Chihuahua doesn't look like he wants to let them get away here, but thinks twice about it. That barrel exploding in his face, but it looks like they're coming back. They still got the Baron. Misses the flash body slam, uses the explosive cast, probably in anger. They missed that one, but they're actually being deleted. Kaiser Idris comes ahead and the stacking up, still on touch face shield, exhausted instantly. Robot burning. Elysian Blaze foiling the attempt on the inhibitor. That's 2. That's 4. They're looking for Arbitral. Looks like they won't get Desire, but they get 4 members of Queen's Revenge, and they will not go down without a fight here.
Psychopather tries to get the engage, and look at the items on the kill switch here, Lamb. There's a force of nature on this Veigar, and that's doing such a good job of keeping him alive in these fights. Was able to survive the initial engage and then return fire after flashing over the wall. And Queen's Revenge angle for victory. That Baron is going to be cut off, and it looks like they're going to be able to get some turrets of their own.
Oh, this is desperation. Arbitral gets homie, roots up, Nicky as well. He goes low. Idris has to go away. Oh my god, what is going on? They're running it. They're all Ramis right now. Cell division passive, Beast Pro. Gotta go fast, gotta go quickly. Triple kill just like that over to Arbitral. Fends off that one. Idris is going to burn to death here by Carter's Queen Stakes. Gets in on the action, and Elysian Blaze, they implode.
Yeah, they burn themselves out. What was that? Just go for the turret. You don't have to get the kill onto Zaya, of all things. Gives them a nice boost in the economy. That's that stimulus package coming through. Kill switch going to be zoned away by the Nautilus as they do pick up this inhibitor. That wasn't supposed to happen, and now Queen's Revenge game's back in their hands.
Well, just when you thought that opportunity was gone, it's not. And they're probably going to get 2 inhibitors here. Yeah, they absolutely are. They break open the base. 2 inhibitors down when Elysian Blaze, they did the hardest thing. They turned it around. They foiled the attempt on the inhibitor. But again, decision making in this game is so important, and these are the finest in margins when it comes to the best of 5 series. And it looks like so far that Queen's Revenge are gearing up to even up this series.
Yeah, every mistake has been extremely pivotal for both these teams here. So pointing out that both these teams have overforced multiple times, Lamb, means the tensions are high. And I'm glad that these teams aren't afraid to make plays, but they've been mis-executing, over-forcing, over-diving, and it's hurt both these teams. And they just need to get their wits about them, calm down, and make the correct play. So far, right now, these teams are going to be neck and neck. So whoever makes the final mistake might determine the win here, Lamb.
Another check-in on OP kill switch now. Additional 350 AP on this Veigar, which means that Primordial Burst is doing a lot of damage right now, like almost 3,200 magic damage. Remember, that increases with the missing health of whoever it hits as well, so that one-shot potential is there. But look at this, Queen's Revenge say, to hell with the Veigar. We're going to take the Purple Worm again.
Yeah, they're with 2 inhibs down. There's pretty much no way Elysian Blaze is going to get to that Baron outside of a massive mistake from Queen's Revenge here. It looks like this might be rolling right into a dragon as well. 50 seconds. They're in position to fight, but they might have to give up their base. Killswitch does not have TP, so it would be a 4v5, and they might just have to slink away and give the soul, Lamb, to Queen's Revenge.
It's not a bad thing in this game, and if you want to make sure that you can try and get to that objective of just winning this game, which by the way is the longest in the series. I only played 2 games right now, but approaching the 35-minute mark, and it feels like again every mistake matters. One mistake could be the end of the game here, and they are marching it down the bot lane. Gragas is lagging a little bit behind, but they're starting to pick off the rest of these objectives. Second turret in the bot going to be the next one.
All right, with that second Baron, they pick up another turret, and this is going to roll right into that dragon. 5 seconds coming up. Should be uncontestable, as Elysian Blaze are going to be turtling in their base here, and those inhibs are nowhere near to coming up. So they're just going to have to chill and give this over. Queenstick's going to solo pick it up as they're pushing in the bot side. This could be the engage angle.
Desperation plays coming out. Arbitro gets the feathers out. Doesn't get the recall right now. Oh, he does. He actually roots him up and he'll disengage. But Kraydog left to the wolves. Nautilus will fall yet again in this game. They trade the Nautilus's life for the soul. It's not a bad trade.
Yeah, but they lose the initiative on Baron to take that last inhib here. And I think now Elysian Blaze, they've made enough effort to defend the base, and they're going to survive to fight another day, and that could potentially be Baron or Lamb, the Elder fight. So this game's going the distance.
Brace yourself. Action is coming, that's for sure. 4,000. I mean, the gold lead, to hell with the gold lead. It doesn't mean a damn thing right now, because both of these organizations are putting on a spectacle, and it only gets better from here. But where can they find the angle? Now they got supers marching into the base, but I mean, supers coming into the base when you got a really hyper skilled Veigar, who by the way actually picked up Force of Nature. So that Requiem, not going to do as much, but still going to burn the Veigar regardless. I mean, his job is to try and stay alive, to try and stack as many skills as he can, especially Q. If he's hitting anybody with that Baleful Strike, that's at least half your health.
Yeah, I mean, any spell being hit besides the cage is going to be probably at least half your health here, unless you have some decent MR. As kill switch, I mean, doing a great job. They're going for the kill, Nick.
Roebuck actually misses everything, so he's got to get out of there. Idris follows that up with a killer instinct, and Yoni will be able to walk away from that one. Overcommitment on both sides, and it doesn't fare well for the Kaiser nor the Yoni. But still, again, this game is still in Queen's Revenge's hands. They have to try and let these waves sync up as best they can and open up that bot side inhibitor. And if they get that one, then we could see potentially that onslaught coming. I mean, the 1-3-1 isn't too bad on this squad, but they have to get there, Crims. They're allowing so much time for Elysian Blaze to just stay in this game.
They haven't found an angle into the base, and they're not really utilizing split push from Sergeant Roebuck here. They've been grouping, and that's making it very difficult for them to take turrets here. Nick providing a lot of poke there. Greg is going to heal it up. They are not going to be able to retake these inhibs, and now that situation where they're going to be able to contest the Baron and potentially the Elder is on the table. Queen's Revenge, they're not going to be able to close out this game just yet, and it's giving Elysian Blaze an opportunity to win a game that they should have lost.
Oh, they're going to pull the trigger right now. Karthus to get them low here. Does a little bit, but Redemption comes down. Going to heal up the gang. Okay, an answer to the Requiem. They might be able to looking to turn this. Event Horizon goes down. They space them out. Homie on the front line right now. Well dropped. Doesn't really matter. Veigar gets execute onto the Yoni. Still holding on to Primordial Burst right now. Baleful Strike's going out. Oh my god! Triple kill! Just like that, quadra kill! The Dark Mar on OP kill switch lands on 3 hits and he drops the MFing world right on top of them.
The nuke comes down in Elysian Blaze. They win the fight despite the Karthus ultimate coming down and chunking them out a third of their HP bars. This mid laner is absolutely insane in both games, completely clutching it. Are they just going to run it straight down mid and win this game? There's only 20 seconds left. I don't think they can pull it off, but what a huge team fight win for the side of Elysian Blaze, and they are going to keep their life alive in game number 2.
Okay, we have to flame the team for not giving the penta. Not giving the penta. They're still going for it here. Yeah, they're forcing down the Nexus turrets. Okay, Elysian Blaze looking to just grasp this game again. Roebuck a second away, but it's a second too late. And just like that, Elysian Blaze, they do it again.
The mental for Queen's Revenge is being tested right now, Lamb, because what a devastating loss 2 times in a row. Queen's Revenge, they look like they have a handle on the game, and all of a sudden in a fight, they get aced completely, and then Elysium Blaze just stream down the mid lane, and they just take the game away from Queen's Revenge twice in a row, and they have to go into game number 3 knowing it's happened in those past games. Lamb, these games are close, but Elysium Blaze just look like they are better on this day.
I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. The fact that Elysium Blaze say, okay, you want to take our whole base, you want to take our inhibitors, hold my beer. We'll just kill you. We'll give a quadra kill over to this hyperscaling Veigar. Oh my god, Dark Matter on 3. And by the way, when that landed, I don't believe the cage was down. I don't believe the cage stunned up 3.
There.
The stun lasted a little bit more. Okay, flame me. I wasn't paying attention. I just seen that big comet land. I mean, that was probably as good as the one that killed out the dinosaur 65 million years ago. Folks, you'll never see something like it again. I mean, the younger Dryas is probably up there in contention as well. Very controversial topic. But Crims, what a game. Elysium Blaze, they've got backbone and spine, and no matter the circumstances, they can pull the game back from the reaches of hell and make them pay for it.
Yeah, they are going to fight you tooth and nail. And if you don't get a clean win, if you don't decapitate them, they're just going to come back stronger like a Hydra. And it's showing that Queen's Revenge, they did not have a very clean closeout. They gave Elysium Blaze too many opportunities to come back in that game, and now it's just burning them. Elysium Blaze are the Phoenix that will rise and rise again. You have to put them out.
Queen's Revenge, it's all to do. Can they get back into the series? I mean, they've not done a whole lot wrong, but you have to end the game. They couldn't find the angle, so the Force came. The Force wasn't strong with it. Darth Vader choked them out, and then that's what happens. But guys, we're going to cut to a small break, but when we come back, we'll be getting prepared for this finale. Potentially, it's still all to play for, and Queen's Revenge, I got a feeling they're not going to go away right after this Game 3. Welcome back, everyone, to your Wednesday evening entertainment. That's late. That's late. All right, Crims,
Okay.
take it. Just take the
What?
intro. Take the intro.
All right, we're getting ready for game number 3 here. I don't know what the heck happened to Lamb, but you know what? If he wants to toss, I'll catch for him. As we have, do I get this correct here? Is Queen's Revenge yet again on the blue side here, Lamb? Do my eyes deceive me?
Let me say up. No, they do not. We're running it back again, and we'll see what will actually be prioritized here. We've seen Xayah many a time in this whole series, and it's a champion that they tend to gravitate towards. I mean, it was doing so well in that game eventually, but again, they just couldn't find the angles to end the game, which is probably their biggest problem right now. Game 1 didn't look awful, Crims. Game 2 looked phenomenal. But again, even with the hyperscaling Karthus, Elysian Blaze, they had an answer in the Veigar. The Veigar turned the tide one time, and actually there was several fights, you could say, that we really seen that champion take off. And OP kill switch. How capable is this guy? Like, what is the champion pool like for this guy? It has to be an ocean. Has to be. Because he played a phenomenal Ziggs game, and now the Veigar at top that. So how do you even ban this guy out?
I mean, he just performs on Yordles, apparently. So get
Teemo
this man
next.
off of Yordle. Yeah, get him off of Yordle. Let's see what he can do on Teemo. If that's definitely going to be left open here. As the OP kill switch seems pretty OP, aptly named. And I mean, doesn't always have to have that good early game either to just massively perform in the late game here. So Elysian Blaze, it's looking like they're primed to take this game. Their mid game is just a step above Queen's Revenge. And even if they take heavy losses in the early game, they seem to be able to make them back and are able to reverse into the win themselves here. So Queen's Revenge, if you're cooking up something special, now's the time. That Xayah first pick, it's not terrible, but it's not really going super great either. So I'm wondering if they're going to switch up their bot lane, Lamb.
So with it, bearing that in mind, so we know that Queen's Revenge, their early game is pretty damn good, right? It wasn't awful at all. I mean, it's very consistent. They end up getting around the first blood. They bite back if they don't get it. I believe they got first blood in both games too, over the series so far. But as we get into the draft here as well, but they're always in contention, and all the action is in that bot lane. So how do you make that happen? How do you make it happen for them again?
Yeah, they kind of baited Elysian Blaze into a bit of an overengage. And their Rakan pick was getting punished by Kraydog's Nautilus. So if they want to set that up, that's fine. I think the problem was that Zac pick, especially into the Xayah. Like, what was going on there? Gave Queen's Revenge an opening to winning the early game in that game number 2 here. So Elysian Blaze, I mean, they're not out of the park here either, Lamb. Game number 2, they should have lost that game. So I don't think they're without criticism.
No, and maybe that is what was needed to actually awake the sleeping giant in Elysian Blaze. Remember, guys, 7-0 for the season. Dropping 4 games in total over the course of the season. But regardless, number 1 seed coming out here against number 4 seed in Queen's Revenge. They're going to take the Gragas. Wasn't bad front line. Rod Aegis was in there as well. Xayah highly contested, so it looks like Elysian Blaze are going to fight back and take that one. Will they secure the synergy of the bot lane? Sometimes they leave that to chance, but the opportunity here is they could take Rakan, or they may as well just take the Zac again. It worked so good in that early game to try and counter whatever Queen Styx could do. So Queen Styx farming up, and then Zac, very proactive, can come from the Fog of War, and of course that elastic slingshot can get you the impossible angles that you need to make those ganks successful.
Yeah, this makes a lot more sense. You pick the Xayah and the Zac. Now you don't have a huge counter to that Zac slingshot. And the Xayah prio picked every game so far. Jinx going to be the counter from Queen's Revenge, kind of standard, as you don't really go for dive. You just try to win the team fight front to back, and you out damage the Xayah instead here. The Gragas is, of course, really good disengage overall. Great champion right now. Is solid blind pick. So I like that. Can be flex pick as well. as we have the Jinx going to be paired with the Lulu. This
love
is
this.
a mega pick into the Zac. The knockup is going to prevent the Zac engage in a huge way. Going to boost the Jinx damage and give overall speed for this Jinx to either get away from some champions or to get in to get a kill. So this Lulu pickup here, excellent. Elysian Blaze, I don't think the Zac pick has really been good for you in the draft game 2 and now in game 3 as well.
They might just not care, Crims. I go back to the fact that maybe they're just comfortable in their ability to close out a game.
Okay.
Once they get a lead or once they get a grasp on the game. Only took one shot. I mean, only took one chance, and the Veigar paid off for them massively. So will Queen's Revenge take that Veigar away, knowing that it is an insurance policy for Elysian Blaze? If they didn't have that Veigar, then potentially they could have seen problems. But the Jinx Lulu is such a broken champion. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. This little enchanter Yordle is so painful to engage onto because Zac instant polymorph. Chompers go down from Jinx, disengage. Okay, they get onto the Jinx while growth interrupts and displaces. And then everything else that comes through with that, you can harass, you can do it all. And the utility that she builds in her kit with the itemization that comes through on this champion is something that is really good as well. So how do you answer the Jinx Lulu lane here? With Xayah being picked, what do you pair this up with? Because that Rakan was just banned away.
I mean, you could go something like a Karma to win the lane. That'll certainly work. I think that...
How about Blitzcrank?
Okay, Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank can do something similar by hitting your hooks. Tom Kench is also a possibility. If someone's going to die for that Jinx reset, just use the Tom Kench Eat to save them and prevent her from getting her damage in the fights here. So they opt with the we're going to kill Lulu strategy with this Blitzcrank here. And now, Queen's Revenge, they have to blind pick their mid lane. And we know OP kill switch, super pivotal in game 1 and 2. And now is going to be able to counter this Yone pick.
Yone being locked in as well. I'd be surprising actually if he takes the Veigar into this, and I think Queen's Revenge understand that Sergeant Roebuck played a blinding game on that Yone, multiple face sealed on multiple members. It's exactly what you want out of a mid laner of that capability. So they'll run back the Yone, enhanced by that Lulu of course as well. So wherever Lulu is, good things are going to happen, and they're going to beefing up that front line with the Sejuani. I mean, and why not? Because you got a hyper carry in Jinx and you got a hyper scaling champion in Yone, but they're a little bit lacking in the AP department. So does that mean that Gragas is going to go full AP here?
Probably still going to do the Rod of Ages build and then can do whatever he wants from there. Yone also does magic damage with the Sejuani, so overall as a team, I think they have magic damage covered. Lulu on top of that as well. And Elysian Blaze, looks like OP Killswitch says, lock me in the Ahri. Gonna try to outplay the Yone and dodge the Sejuani ult because, Lamb, Sejuani and Yone are a very potent duo in the mid lane. Queen's Revenge get themselves very strong 2v2 here. So looking for them to play through this combo, see if they can get some really strong instant stuns into knock-up combos, and see if Sergeant Roebuck can have a similar performance to game number 2 to give Queen's Revenge their first win.
Well, their first win, it has to come now, and it can't stop. Otherwise, this quarterfinals is over for them, and they're going home on the back of a 3-0. And again, there's no shame in that if it is to happen. Elysian Blaze are a phenomenal team in hot form, but I mean, they haven't showed it really. Have they really showed anything other than the powers to try and end the game and delay the game as best they can? Which again is a skill in itself. We see many people who crumble in that situation. Multiple inhibitors down, just not getting the itemization that they needed, that is required. But again, the pairing of the Sejuani and Yone is such a devastating one. You can set it up really nicely for Sergeant Roebuck in this case. And Queen Styx wasn't so active on the Karthus, was in the right place at the right time a few times and managed to get the executes on certain individuals in that bot side. Again, so much action happens in that south side of the river that we really need to try and keep on top of that. And tracking the jungler, I mean, it doesn't look like they even bother tracking the jungler. They coin flip it every time here, Crims, and it's fantastic to watch. It really is. But where do you go if you're Queen Styx? Where are you hyper focusing? Are you going down to that bot lane to get Arbitrio unlocked and out of that lane, or are you going to go back up to the top side and fight that volatile matchup that is Gragas against the Jace?
Yeah, I think Sejuani, Queen Styx, gonna want to play it towards top side and mid lane this game. The Jinx Lulu, they can get control, but if you go for the 3v3, the Zac, Zaya, Blitzcrank, pretty deadly. Not saying they can never win that. There's definitely opportunities for them, and they potentially could contest some dragons, but I think it's better for them to play towards top side. They have a lot stronger components there with the Gragas and the Yone Sejuani 3-man on top side. Has synergy with the Sejuani passive. They have a lot of burst damage. They have CC to go for these kills. Play towards the Rift. You can send the Rift to Jinx instead. That's a lot better than trying to just hard win the 2v2 or 3v3 bot side, especially with these comps here. So that's what I'm looking for them to do. Queen 6, that's my job for you. And if you could pull that off, that's going to be a nice lead for your team in the mid game. And that's something that has been your roughest point versus Elysian Blaze. I'm not saying Queen's Revenge is bad, but Elysian Blaze just looks so much better in that mid game.
Wow, Crims that doesn't just straight out flame. I love that. Maybe he's changing. Maybe that new leaf is coming. Spring, Crims.
New place, new me. Apparently, I'm not flaming as hard. I mean, look, we're in the playoffs, Lamb. No one's going to be making objectively extremely terrible plays, right? These are top tier teams. They play better, so you're going to get some criticism. Like, yeah, they overforce, but they've made some really good picks onto Idris a couple times. If you remember the Talia, right? That's some good mid-game play, but they just take it a step too far and they completely throw their lead every time. And I mean, there was the Baron where they super engaged in game number 2 into the base of Elysian Blaze. That team fight didn't go so well. So Queen's Revenge, they do something good, but they always do something bad right after. And that's why these games are so tough for them.
Well, it's confirmed. They know exactly where that jungler is and they don't care and they just flip it.
Yeah, they
I
just
love
keep
it. I
going.
love the attitude, honestly. Whether there's truth in that is yet to behold. I mean, we'll see what the pattern is like in this game too. And you know what? Get your predictions in, guys. This could be the final time that we see Queen's Revenge in action this season, or will it be Elysian Blaze? They haven't looked hot out of the gates, but there's always that chance. That sleeping giant in Elysium, their organization has them across the board. They might be looking to stomp this one and cement their place into the semi-finals, and who they will play is yet to be determined. That other game was postponed to tomorrow, as Sam's mentioned earlier, but get your predictions in because we are less than a minute away. I should say we're just over a minute away. Okay, hit us with a break, Lucan. We'll see you right after this. Game 3 of a possible 5. 2 to the good is Elysium Blaze. They come back from the depths of despair to win game 2. And damage, Queen's Revenge is mental. Or did they? Because Crims, that was a phenomenal performance by Queen's Revenge. They just couldn't get it done. Homie was actually looking for a quick rocket. Grabbed this Blitzcrank. Gonna be really exciting to watch this guy. I mean, Blitzcrank, every time he takes to the Rift, who are you gonna grab on this team? You want to practically grab everybody except that Sejani. And I mean, it's a really good pick into this Lulu as well.
I think maybe you also want to not touch the fat man with the rocket grab.
Oh,
there.
come on.
Wait, is there like a little bear in the claw of Blitzcrank in that skin? That is interesting. Does he go with the claw when you rocket grab?
Oh my god, it's like Power Rangers.
Oh yeah. Wait, does he go with though? I wonder. Do you just get how many G's does that bear take every time Blitzcrank does a rocket grab?
It's just GG.
Oh, okay. All right. Not, you know, I'll say it's decent. It's a decent one.
Thank you, Crims. He's not Flaming Crims anymore. He's Spring Crims. New house, new him. Same old
We'll
me.
see. As Kraydog there. We'll see if anyone gives me a chance to disappoint. As Kraydog does take the hook, but just able to skedaddle out of there. As we've seen this matchup on the top side before. Nick, are you going to get first blood again? We will see. Both junglers pathing bottom. As Queen Sticks just a little bit ahead of that Zac for now.
Sejani working her way down there. That award
Level
is
2?
actually going to time out as well. Homie doesn't get that one, but does get the flash out of our Bitcho. So the Jinx has to be careful, and you can already see the value in this Blitzcrank pick.
That's a lot of pressure being put down, and Jinx immobile, so really likes that flash, especially into the Blitzcrank. So cannot flash out of a hook now. And with this wave bounce back, could be in a dire position. Every game, it starts with Elysium Blaze getting prio in bot side. It doesn't matter what the matchup is, they get it regardless. And same with Nick in the top side. So there's no lane to leverage here. Kill switch roaming down, hook gonna land. Kraydog gets rooted.
That's my play-by-play right there. Nice, dude. He's taking over.
Len, you've been doing
Crims.
excellent color this whole time.
Play-by-play. He's just everything's changing. I hate change Crims. Give me the old Crims back. Charm goes wide from OP kill switch. Good trade actually over from Sergeant Roebuck, who did look very comfortable on the Yone, looking to pilot it once again. And more importantly, that permafrost that comes from Queen Sticks is activated only by melee champions. So anything that can additionally hit that is going to stack out faster, which results in that stun going off. And you can definitely make plays with that. So will Queen Sticks head to that mid lane? Because once Ari gets level 6, she's very elusive.
That is going to be a major factor here. Both junglers made their way to bot side. Chihuahua slower on the clear. Queen Sticks, I don't know what he's attempting to do right now. Looks like he's trying to find an angle for a gank, but the ward is going to completely spot him out. They see him, and they're making their exit right now. Queen Sticks doesn't look like he's going to pull the trigger as Chihuahua is coming down to help out. And this early clear speed advantage from Queen Sticks every game has not been leveraged, Lamb.
Homie's hook actually goes short there. Yeah, I completely agree. We've seen this before. So Chihuahua actually skips blue buff. No summon or a flash on our Bitcho. Still has that cleanse as well, so you can potentially get out of something. The only thing you can't get out of is that rocket grab, unless it's timed to absolute perfection. So we'll see if Zac can hang around here a little bit more. Actually going to turn around for that blue buff, and Queen Sticks gets a ward down, but doesn't find the Zac. How costly might that be? Because look at the south side of the river. Sejani's still not going back. Gonna find Chihuahua now. Could be in trouble here. Look at the bot lane. They got priority in that bot side. Gonna collect a plate at least. And Sejani walking back down here. So we're gonna see a fight. Or Bitcho left the game because he knows that Queen Sticks is trolling. First blood over to Idris. I'm not sure if that's gonna stand.
I don't think it changed much, so I think Queen Sticks was pretty much dead no matter what.
Well, Jinx is
I
back.
don't think there was any way to contest that either, as they just got the wave shoved in. So Queen Sticks I mean, the first early game mess up we see here from Queen Sticks, and it is that first blood, and drastically it goes on to Idris. Oh, that zap gonna miss right there. The charm gonna land. Sergeant Roebuck advance is thwarted. And I mean, remember game number 1, Lamb. Elysium Blaze, when they had control of the game, played so much better on controlling the map. It's really when they lost the advantage that game was a toss-up here. So this early advantage might just mean Elysium Blaze have secured their win. 6 minutes in.
Oh, there he is. I wondered where that Crims went. He's already putting them to the sword. But again, look at the gold difference right now in those AD carries. That's about 1,000 gold difference. 6 minutes into the game for Idris on this.
I'm smelling a hook.
Zaya. Wow, homie.
Oh!
Doesn't quite land that one.
Dude,
He
I
walks away.
tried to predict that one so bad. It was close.
I love the fade away. It just didn't happen
It
for you,
looked
though.
like it was gonna hit too. I thought I was a pre-cog for like 5 seconds.
Oh, maybe we'll get it next time he comes back to the lane. Homie, being a homie that he is, going to time the back alongside the Zaya. I mean, it's not very exciting early game, but I mean, the stakes are so high in this one. Elysium Blaze have accounted that gold lead. Explosive cast onto Jace. Nick knocks him back into the turret there. Good flash, actually, to get out with that one. Sergeant Roebuck goes advantageous again. No, actually, the advantage is with the Ari. She actually reached level 7 before the Yoni. So aggressive plays coming through from Sergeant Roebuck, but the Sejani just kind of falling behind the curve a little bit here, Crims.
Yeah, we can see Queen Sticks, that death really hurting him. Charm gonna land. Is that gonna be turret shot? Not just quite. And
Homie.
we know Nick's gonna be taking a bit of an L on the top side as Psychopather has first advantage. But we know from game number 2 that eventually Nick will scale and be massive in these games and these fights here. So Queen's Revenge, again, they have to do something.
And that predict was so close from Chihuahua as well, but Roebuck will get out of it. No level 6 on the Zac, which means no further engage, no DPS in that mid lane until Ari eventually comes back. And it's worth knowing, it's a good point to actually bring up Nick's Jace, is he actually topped the damage charts in last game, 40,000 plus on this Jace. That's very impressive, albeit that it was all about OP kill switch running the show on the Veigar. That Jace becomes a problem, evidently, so keeping tabs on that one. He's sailing through this early game nice and safe against the Gragas. I mean, the 1v1 potential is Psychopath. He wants to take that 1v1 almost every single time, but it looks like Nick's a little bit comfortable up here. He'll just be looking to clear out this wave, which he will do successfully. And this is a different start to the game for Elysium Blaze. They look like they're organized.
All right, Queen Sticks. Wow, that's half the HP chunked out there. Psychopather is going to trade back as we have Homie on to Sergeant Roebuck. Kill switch. Do they have the kill?
Flash from Roebuck keeps him alive. They're making rotations back here, but they're not in range just yet. Queen Sticks is actually here instead, and Nick's in trouble. They're going to get the top laner. Permafrost and kill will go over to Sejani. Queen Sticks back in the game.
All right, they pick up that kill. It was close. Nick, he could have double traded as well. That would have been a disaster. Idris, 2v1, is going to lose that one heavily. Has the ultimate to dodge the Mega Death Rocket. Can use that Featherstorm here to farm safely, but as soon as that's burned, has to turn tail. Going to be using that to farm up, but Arbitral is going to be picking up some much needed gold and plates because, as you were stating, Lamb, so far behind in the 80 carry gold game.
Well, they've handshaked that one, so Herald will go over to Chihuahua. They'll push Queen Sticks off of that one, albeit that Queen Sticks ended up going to the top side and picked off the J. So almost 10 minutes into the game, that gold lead still in favor of Elysium Blaze here. The 1,200 gold lead for them. And usually once they have that gold lead, they don't really let go of it. So we'll see again if it transitions into that win that they also need. That dragon is going to be up, but no pings go down on it. The only benefactor in this case is we were talking about the AD carries and the gold difference now. So since Jinx and Lulu were actually 2v1 against the Zaya right now, it cuts that gold lead down to just 1,000. So that's not so bad in terms of things. But Orbitio, the flash is back up now, so that Jinx is going to be feeling pretty comfortable. But still, it's a Blitzcrank that you have to go up against.
All right, we'll see if Chihuahua can make up the difference with that Rift Herald there and propel their lead, especially in that bot lane. As we have Nick going for aggressive trade yet again. And yeah, Queen Sticks unfortunately wasn't able to get the trade onto the Dragon because if you remember all the way back, Killswitch got a really good trade onto that Sejuani and completely zoned off the Rift Herald here. As I'm just watching Nick and Psychopath there, I'm like waiting on bated breath. Is he gonna go in for the kill onto Nick?
It's always tempting for the Gragas. Actually, the flash is available as well. So flash body slam is the thing. He doesn't want to pull the trigger just yet. He's happy enough pushing this Jace underneath the turret, but Nick is farming up pretty good. He's forced under that turret almost every single time and seems to have the number of farming that one up. He's taking a lot of damage though.
Oh,
you can tell
Scorch.
he wants it. You can tell he wants it.
He has the opportunity. He has the cast. Once his CDs are up, he can also flash onto Nick, and he can't do anything in response here. So the kill's available. Psychopath, can he pull it off here?
Oh, he takes a big shock blast. The Chihuahua is in the bot side now. Glacial Prison lands onto Homie. The rocket grab only going to bring the minion into melee distance. Feathers get recalled from Idris. Still walking forward. The exhaust going to be dropped onto Orbital. They're going to negate the Jinx damage for now. Homie still walking away. He's going to get frozen up by the permafrost. Flashes away. The Feathers actually go out. It's going to root them up right now. That wild growth comes through onto the Sejuani extended team fight. But the flank around from OP Killswitch. The rocket grab. The silence. Elysium Blaze get a grasp on that bot lane. The squad rotate and they make it count. Zach gonna walk away with a slither of health.
Oh, so unfortunate for Psychopath. He TP's down bottom to get nothing, and now Nick gets free turret plates and free golden scaling as well. That is an absolute travesty. So it looks like he's going to pick up 2 plates. Could go for 3 if he really wanted to. And so they lose the bot lane fight. They spend resources for not much. Killswitch gets the roam first, despite losing CS in the mid lane. And it turns out to be a amazing gamble because he picks up the kill on Habitual. And Lamb, I don't know if you were looking, that fight looked like they were going to lose it on the side of Elysium Blaze.
And they just turn it around. They seem to find angles that we just can't see in these team fights. And a lot of damage actually absorbed from Homie. That passive mana barrier came out to keep the Blitzcrank nice and safe. We're going to see Herald dropped in that mid lane as well. Chihuahua held on to that for the longest time, but that plate gold is going to go into the pockets of the AD carry, the jungler. Homie getting involved in that too. So again, Blitzcrank appearing to be a problem in this one. Roebuck is trying his best to get involved in this game, but for the Yoni, it's just not happening. The roam's just not coming through in time, but you can't say the same for this active mid laner of Elysium Blaze. OP Killswitch, right place at the right time, and he's picked up his first kill of this game.
All right, they're going to use Nick to secure this dragon here. This does give Psychopath basically the plates and gold back, as Homie is going to look for a hook, but gets polymorphed. That is a extremely annoying ability. As Nick, he doesn't actually teleport back up, but that's the price they are willing to pay for this dragon here. As this game, still pretty even, but we see what happens before Lamb. Elysium Blaze, they just need an inch to take a mile.
Well, this is a different style of game, right? We're seeing these extended team fights. We're seeing such patience from Elysium in this one, and it looks like, again, it looks like they've woken up a little bit. They says, hey, we're in a series here. It's gone close twice, and now we're trying to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Cement it with a really good performance. Orbital doesn't eat that hook. OP Killswitch coming over the wall there. Potentially setting up for a dive or a pick here. Charm traded for the polymorph. Spirit Rush activated. 2 remaining on that one. Roebuck holds onto that, still level 10. Onto the Yoni, a level 11 for the Ares. So unfortunate circumstances dictating that he's not going to pull the trigger on that one. And we'll see Nick and Psychopath are padding the stats up there in the top lane.
Yeah, their dueling's going to hit those damage charts. No one decides to fight bot side despite the 4v4. And Elysium Blaze playing it slow.
Queen Sticks doesn't hit Homie with that Glacial Prison. Again, maybe a little bit of nerves creeping through for the jungler of Queen's Revenge here. The stakes are so high that it's understandable if that is the case. Explosive cast will displace Nick and stop him engaging onto the Gragas as he's just looking to reset. Now Eclipse completed for that Jace, only falling to that Queen Sticks gank up there in the top lane. But again, Jinx was getting a lot of plates and a lot done on that turret, but it looks like those odds have changed in the favor of Elysian Blaze as once again they grab priority in that bot lane.
All right, all this attention being put onto Idris and Homie. Oh, they have an angle. They can engage. This does come at the price of the Rift Herald here. This is not for free, so Queen Styx is waiting around for nothing. I think they know. They've kind of sussed out Queen Styx here in this bush. I mean, where else would Queen Styx be if not clearing, looking for a gank, or on Rift Herald? Prey Dog in hook range.
Oh, Queen Styx has actually left.
Yep.
Sejani went to the red buff. Homie understands the circumstances. Knocks up, silences Arbitral while growth comes out. Still, Feather's going to rail him up here. Doesn't even need a Gale Force forward. Aggressive plays from Idris. This AD carry gets the stasis out of Lulu, enough to negate any further engage. Queen Styx going to go forward with the Arctic Assault, but Ari is here to protect the bot lane, and Cray Dog gets the Orbit Deception. There's no decepting that one. There's only dissecting because Queen Styx about to fall as well. Double kill on the notorious mid laner.
All right. Kill switch picks up the double, the true damage on that Sejuani, proving massive, and hits that charm right on Queen Styx exit, preventing Queen Styx from getting away there. And that kill on the Cray Dog, getting that extra stack. Kill switch, I mean, it looks like nothing can stop him. Queen's Revenge, they're trying everything against this mid laner, and Lamb, they're coming up short every time.
He's just built different in this one. OP kill switch, 3 kills to the good.
Nice little movement.
Psychopath there for a big guy. He's pretty quick on his feet, pretty nimble for now. But these top laners, they're padding the stats. I mean, they might be the highest damage in this game, and they've only been involved in 1 kill each. In fact, Jace is not involved in anything. He's just hit that RIP sign. Psychopath gets Drunken Rage, heals up a little bit, delays Nick's introduction to that top lane again. But look at the Blitzcrank, look at the vision around this top side of the map right now. Summoner's Rift is just covered. Explosive Cash stands up Homie against the terrain. Rocket grab. A little bit too short there.
But does burn some defensives from Psychopath here. And Nick hitting that scaling, starting to be more effective against Gragas. Although Gragas did finish the rod, so the healing coming in from him is going to be massive. As we have Idris here just farming away in the mid lane. Nick, all right, is able to disengage.
Style point.
Doesn't have the cask. Doesn't have the cask. You have to remember, can't get the kill without the cask here. They're going to use the Rift Herald for mid lane control and try to get that pressure right into the dragon. And they're going to be 2-0 in dragons this game here. And look at this. I mean, Lamb, if we're not paying attention, this golden lead from Elysian Blaze is growing surely but steadily.
Yeah, indeed. Don't let go of it. Remember, folks, this is game 3 of a possible best of 5. But right now, we're going to see a fight here, actually.
Nice.
Glacial Prison lands on the 2 members. Roots them up. Feathers go out very early on. That means Zaya might be methods here. Queen Styx on the front line. Homie has to go back. He gets the knock up before he goes down there. Massive face shield. Rollback. We've seen this before. Oh, gets peeled back and falls. They trade over Jinx. Still free firing our Arbitral. Looking to clean this one up. OP kill switch. Will it get out of this one? It looks like he will. They're going to turn their attention to the Zac. That's very smart because that dragon is going to be available. OP kill switch. Charm goes out. Oh, Arbitral gets the shield from Lulu. And will live. The Mega Death Rocket. Good night, Vienna. Jinx. This is why Lulu's a problem.
Keeps him alive just barely. And somehow, Elysian Blaze decide that 4v5 was worth it because Nick, where was Jace this entire time pushing down this side lane? Why did they go for that? They could have just very quietly given that one up, but instead they decide to go for the fight and for the side lane win. Nick does get them a lot of gold in the pocket, so despite the fact that they lose some people in that fight, that turret gold is going to be making up for that nicely as they go for this dragon as well. They lose the fight, but they're gonna get the dragon.
This is unbelievable circumstances. Honestly, Elysian Blaze looking to secure the 2nd dragon of the game, and it will be their 2nd dragon of the game. Consistency is key, and that's going to reveal it's going to be an Ocean Soul in this game. So that is a massive objective, and already this squad, they're halfway there to that one.
Yeah, they are looking en route. Their control is slowly expanding. Nick has been working on these turrets on both top and bottom. They got the mid lane do that Rift Herald, got that golden Idris here. As now they're turning their sights to looking for picks on this Blitzcrank around the Baron pit. They have the ability to get control. They just need to move up that vision line, clear some from the side of Queen's Revenge, and then they can start baiting this Baron, and that's going to be where we see Elysian Blaze really take control of this game. Because you do not want to engage into them, and that Baron's going to force Queen's Revenge into doing that. And that's where Idris is going to have so much value. And you're going to see the poke come out from Nick and the catch potential from the Zac, the Blitzcrank, the Ari. So as soon as that starts to happen, Lamb, we're going to see Elysian Blaze skyrocket in control in this game.
Well, I was about to say, I'm very much convinced that Nick is an NPC in this game. Kept going back top, went top, cleared one wave, backed again, went straight back top again. I mean, I need to watch the
man
vlog
on a
of this
mission.
one. He's on a mission to get the most minions in this game. He's just a little bit short of Xayah here, but Roebuck is going to find him, and he wants that 1v1. And Roebuck has to think twice. That Jace very strong in this game. Manaman transformed as well, and Nick is very comfortable. Now he's working on that bot lane as well. So who is actually going to try and match this man? Because regardless if you join up your team, he's still going to be pushing.
Yeah, Psychopath there seems to be the only one who could stand toe-to-toe to this Jace. And Nick has been very dedicated on the side push game here. I mean, has he even team fought this entire time?
Nope,
I think
he doesn't play for KDA. He plays for CS numbers, and I like it.
Yeah, he wants to get the highest turret damage in the entire tournament here. But he has the TP, and we know Sergeant Roebuck can't play into him here, so he's forcing this Gragas down where he's not going to be as effective versus the Jace. Nick looking for a bit of a good trade.
He's such a cheeky individual. He's going to go the
that's half
Psychopath though. He actually knocks him away. So showing mercy to the Fat Man. He's very immobile, I guess, once he's in range of Nick. But again, going to walk that one away. He just sends a message. He's like, every time you come to this lane, I'm going to chunk you out, force you to actually back off of here. And then I can start farming up the wave again peacefully. And I mean, it's respectable gameplay. They're sticking to their guns here in Elysian Blaze. They still hold that gold lead. You know, 4,500, 4,600. It's extending through the lanes as the CS numbers are getting up there. Xayah has a good CS lead over the Jinx right now, 30 CS for the AD carry Idris. So again, they're getting the gold in the right places, and it looks like if they want to play around this dragon objective, which is why they have Nick down here, without expelling that teleport, they moved OP kill switch up to that top lane. His teleport's about to come up as well. So Elysian Blaze playing the map very well.
Yeah, they're slowly getting control around the Baron, and they just completed that one. So the question is, do they go for the Baron bait? They have 4 members around. Nick's applying pressure on the bot side, and they have that opportunity available to them. I guess they're trying to play very slow and cautious here, as right now this face check from Queen's Revenge is going to go unpunished. I think they could have caught out Queen Styx at least. But they're not really trying to. They're not trying to press any buttons here from the side of Elysian Blaze.
I was about to say, Crims, does this go against them a little bit here? Because now that Jinx sitting on 2 items, she's working towards probably that Infinity Edge. You know, could this be a problem? Because we all know how devastating crit rockets can be in these team fights as well. When we've seen in that last skirmish, the Jinx Orbital free firing in that front line basically, and just untouched the whole time, working his way back into the river and back forth again. And the damage then was a little bit of accountability going forward. But now, 2 items to the good, plus that Lulu, the utility that comes with her. Are they just looking at coin flip this one? Because regardless of the gold lead, if the champions have got the items, they're going to be a problem.
Idris is ahead around 2k, so is going to be able to hit the 3rd item spike before Orbital. So if that's what they're looking for, that's a pretty worthy wait in my opinion, because 3 item spike on any AD carry is huge, and Jinx will not be able to catch up in damage in that fight. So if that's what the plan is, solid game plan from them. Otherwise, I mean, look, you don't want to let Jinx get to 3 items, especially with that Lulu themselves, as I think we're going to have our first 5v5 25 minutes in. and it's contesting for a third dragon.
All right, it's been 7 minutes since their last death. Who's going to join that one? Reset that one. Oh,
Wait a minute, kill switch.
Oh, P kill switch gets Cray Dog. Roebuck goes in trying to get something back. Going to turn back onto homie Chihuahua. Still healthy. Let's bounce. Going to take place to fight. Get Arbitrio out there. Idris roots up this Sejani and kills Queen Sticks. Drops him in the river. Charm goes out. Lands again. Relentless from OP kill switch. Making that cog move in that team fight. And that's going to be the ace going over. No, it's not Yoni. Soul Survivor. But it doesn't matter. That big purple worm going to be the next focus. Elysium Blaze explode into life in this game.
And they don't even get baited by the dragon. They go straight to the gut with this Baron. And that face check from Queen's Revenge proved to be their doom. It's so hard to walk into the team comp of Elysium Blaze, and they completely eviscerated them as they walked in. Kill switch gets a nice pick onto that Lulu. Cray Dog you're talking about wasn't able to do much assistance then, was in fact the victim. And now with this Baron, they get the fast recall and they run straight out to this dragon, and then they're looking to clean up this game here. Lamb, Elysium Blaze look unstoppable in game number 3.
Unstoppable with an 8,000 gold lead. Baron power play online. Desperation has to be setting in for the side of Queen's Revenge. They have to amass some sort of fight back. This revenge has to be had right now. They can see everything that's going down apart from the dragon being pulled out the pit strategically. Over goes Roebuck. He needs to be careful. Does he get picked off? Queen Stick's going to go over very early on. Can his steal come through? No, it does not. Good smite from Zach. They're going to turn back on the homie. Great charm again. OP kill switch. It's pulling that switch every single time. And he's getting the reward for it. Roebuck getting a little bit damage back, but he's going to be deleted by the NPC. No more. Nick gets on the board for the second time in this game.
All right, they slam that team fight. They pick up the dragon, and they're looking at mid lane inhib yet again. They have their sights set, and they're pushing on through with the Baron. There's no defense that can be mounted without the damage source. Sergeant Roebuck and Arbitral are dead, so there's not much fighting back they can do. Queen's Revenge, they're helpless.
10 seconds, 5 seconds on the Jinx. Roebuck about to come up too. At the very least, it's going to be the inhibitor, but how much does Elysium Blaze want to push this?
Oh,
so that's a hook on his Psychopather. Jinx back up now, Arbitral. The stasis activated from Gragas. The fat man on the front line taking most of the damage, gets the close cast out, displays that. Arbitral being the next focus. Nick gets the Jinx. The push will continue. Baron, power play, still online. Elysium Blaze looking at hot, stop, foot, and a go. Straight to the semi-finals. Homie misses the hook, has to get out there. Next turn has been tanked. It's going to be again another displacement from Psychopather. Drops the support. OP kill switch comes in at the back here for strong Elysium Blaze. Next turn, number 1. Under siege, looking to turn it around. They get the Zaya. They get the AD carry. Hold on, Queen's Revenge. They're not done just yet. Nick has to hightail it. He gets shut down and sent packing by Roebuck. Chihuahua. Elastic slingshot to safety. Slither of health is enough. Kill switch gets out of there too. Queen's Revenge, some fight back.
All right, Elysium Blaze getting a little bit lazy and sloppy there. Kill switch was split pushing, using that Baron, spreading it out, and they decide to go for back-to-back 4v5s. Elysium Blaze, they know that they have the win in their pocket, and so they're playing a little bit fast and loose here. They're just gonna bide Queen Revenge's time though, because Lamb, this game, Elysium Blaze, they've pretty much sunk the win from that Baron onwards here, and I don't think there's much Queen's Revenge can do. They're just waiting for their inevitable death.
Well, Crims, you're actually talking to Queen's Revenge #1 fan. I believe they can get back in this game.
When did that happen?
Right now. It happens right now.
Okay.
It's never too late. It's never too late. And that's exactly the conditions of this game. It's never too late for Queen's Revenge to get back into this one. They foil the attempt on the Nexus. That Nexus turret still stands. More importantly, that turret not going to go down just yet. Baron, surely about a timeout for the side of Elysium Blaze. Oh no, Cray Dog!
Oh, against all odds, and with Lamb's blessing, Queen's Revenge lose another member. It's stacked against them. The fates are deeming Queen's Revenge not worthy for Titans as it looks like their last images of defense are falling. The towers are falling. The turrets, the inhibitors are not going to be able to hold back this final push from Elysium Blaze. And Queen's Revenge, biggest fan, is devastated.
And Nick, of course, he's pushing in that top side. Queen's Revenge, they're going to have to pull the trigger eventually. Robot gets 2. That's face sealed on the 3. Okay, already gets addressed. Okay. Glacial Prison again. Chihuahua under threat. He might fall here. Let's bounce it. He heals so much. Oh my goodness. That rocket's going to get on from Arbitral. Cell Division going to be progged. That's a shock blast in from the Jace. It's not enough. The OP kill switch kills the Gragas. Of course he does. This man is unstoppable in this game. Again, the Ari patting the stats. 6th kill of the game for her. Looks like once more. Charm goes wayward. Stasis activated. In trouble now. The shutdown. Who's it going to go over to? Robot cuts down the opposing mid. Oh my god, this pendulum is swinging. It's giving me a headache. 9,000 is that gold lead now. Nick under threat. Gets Orbital. Oh, styling goodbye. The fadeaway Nick Lowe's.
Where did Arbitral go? That completely evaporated from the map. The shock blast from Nick Lowell sending her to the void. And somewhat saves that play as well, because Elysium Blaze, they're having a little bit of fun here. This final dragon 10 seconds away. They're making it exciting for Lamb, you know? Got to give him something to cast over. This slow controlled game, not Lamb style. Now he's got something to have fun with.
Yeah, Anarchy. Yeah. Homie.
Yeah, also an anarchist as well. Wait, are you?
Grims is flaming me. Look in. Grims is flaming me.
No, you're gonna call your mom now?
I'm calling HR. HR?
That's what everyone, you know, I get called, HR gets called a lot on me. As a
I wonder
gonna land
why.
here.
OP kill switch, better get the squad. Called up on him because he's a problem. Gets over the pit. This is so. If they can get it here, over goes the Sejani as well. The steal happens. Delay of the game achieved, or has it? Robot gets out of there. Small price to pay to delay this one. Sejani falls, but 4 members get out.
All right, they get 1 kill, but the soul has been stopped for now. However, that price is going to be paid in the blood of Baron. And honestly, I don't know if Queen's Revenge can handle another Baron Lamb. The last one took so much away from them.
We've heard this before, but as Queen's Revenge fans, Crims, we believe. Okay, where's Lulu? Okay, we definitely believe Megadeth Rocket went close because the
Kraydog's alive.
Well, Kraydog's alive.
Everything's going well.
Everything's going well. Let's keep it up, Kraydog. Stay away from the walls and where places you can't see. Don't pull the Lulu over. We're going to need her for this one. This is going to be the defense of the century if they get it off for the 3rd time in a row in this game, Crims.
Yeah, they have the opportunity here. Everyone is up. Queen Styx is alive. They're going to try to hold down this last inhib. The range from Arbitral is proving to be quite difficult here. And now, Queen's Revenge. These inhibs are coming back up. If they can mount a defense, the game, Lamb, potentially could sway back in their favor.
Well, Robot has to flush out there as well, went a little bit without his team. Homie, face shield only lands on his support. Oh, Robot actually dies to Nick Lowe's. This might just be it. Elysium, they've had enough. OP kill switch, dodges the Gragas. Stasis activates from Cycle Planter. Homie pulls the Jinx into the meat grinder. And that train doesn't come to a stop here. Elysium Blaze are going to keep on chugging to the semi-finals.
Elysium Blaze are your victors for this first round of playoffs. And they make it look like a devastating 3-0 against Queen's Revenge, but not without a fight, Lamb. I know you're devastated at this loss. You're heartbroken. You seem to be fan of teams that just get knocked out, and now Queen's Revenge is one of them.
Okay, look, there's nothing wrong with having hope. Hope is the most powerful thing in the world. And I mean, for Queen's Revenge, they stepped up twice. fell short in the last game, and I gotta agree with you. Maybe Elysium were just having fun with their food in that one. I mean, it was certainly interesting, the defense. Regardless, Robok trying his hardest on the Yone. The Sejani fell behind a little bit early on in the game, didn't really pan out. Picking, Sejani, Yone, you kind of want to see that pairing match up a little bit more. Didn't really happen for them. Maybe it was nerves. Maybe it was just the fact that it's game 3. They went close in the game 2, and they just couldn't get it done. So very, very unfortunate circumstances. So commiserations go out to Queen's Revenge. But I know, Crims, you got a lot to say about Elysium Blaze. They looked really good in the recovery tonight.
Yeah, and I want to talk about what seems to be the star of the show. It's not me. It was taken away from me today here, Lamb. It's actually OP Killswitch, who looked absolutely broken in these games. I like to get a collective KDA because I know is extremely good. Did a lot of damage, picked off opponents on the Ari, got clutch kills on the Veigar, destroyed turrets like nothing on the Ziggs. This mid laner looks absolutely insane for Elysium Blaze.
I gotta agree. And the charm's on point every single time. And unfortunately for Cray Dog,
yeah,
just eating them relentlessly. And when the Lulu is out of the team fight, then the problems start to happen. Zach can then pull the trigger. I mean, they played the micro so well. And you can't be anything but impressed the way that these guys play League of Legends, right? Even if they fall behind, they still have it in their minds that, look, we can still get back into this game. Whether it's 30 minutes in and we're still behind, but we have a Veigar who's scaling infinitely, we don't need to worry about anything. We just need to lure them almost into a false sense of security and then pick them off. And that's exactly what they did 2 games in a row. And in that third game, it just looked like they stepped up just a little bit. Maybe that was like first gear going into second. So again, going forward, these guys hit third, fourth, and then depending on what type of vehicle that you're driving, I mean, and if you're driving a vehicle like Elysium Blaze, there's just no ceiling to that one.
Well, Queen's Revenge got hit by the truck of Elysium Blaze here. And I mean, I have to say the comp that they picked today, the last game 3, works well with their style of really good vision control. So if you're facing up against Elysium Blaze, that's something to take a peek at for sure if you want a shot at dethroning them, because they haven't lost a series yet in this entire season. And in this best of 5, they looked absolutely marvelous here. And even when they're down, you can't count them out. That game 2 comeback was amazing off the back of that Veigar. So OP Killswitch and their vision game from Elysium Blaze, things to look out for. And so far, we haven't seen an answer just yet. And in the next round of playoffs, that's what we're going to be looking at.
Oh, Ari wasn't a Yordle, but OP Killswitch is OP Killswitch and OP for a reason in that one. So definitely the player of the night by far. Idris actually coming close to that one. But I mean, Nick's NPC game in that one, I actually loved it. I need to go back and watch that one. But Crims, any final words before we kind of wrap up here? Any encouraging words, since this is new Crims, new place, new you? You want to give any encouraging words over to Queen's Revenge and how it was a pleasure to cast over their game tonight and all season?
Well, Queen's Revenge, you did your best. Good job.
He's back. He's back, baby. The sarcasm, we love it. Queen's Revenge commiserations. We can reveal to you guys now that Justin RDG actually went 3-0 against HZG as well. So again,
okay,
gonna be exciting going forward. I mean, it's really stepping up. And I mean, Rubber Ducky Gaming, they are a team that again is on the same caliber as Elysium Blaze, I feel. And they are, again, a really organized team. And I mean, they did go up against Hotspot Gaming, who we've seen glimpses of throughout the season as well. So it wasn't a tough, I guess you could say that the fact that it's an underdog, again, underdog story, they're just not living up today, Crims. But will we see that change going in the future here? You think an underdog is going to win Titan Conqueror this season?
Nah, dude. It's
Oh my God.
Look, there's 4 teams on my mind, and 2 of them have absolutely slammed their competition. So we'll see how the rest follow through here. I mean, we're talking, we're kind of down in the dumps right now, but semifinals, Lamb. I mean, it's looking to be an extraordinary playoffs.
It is. Give me this, Mike. It is. It absolutely is. But again, Whatever time tonight, this one went pretty quickly. I mean, 3-0 in the first quarterfinal, 3-0 in the other one, which means it's going to get even more competitive going forward. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight on this Wednesday evening for Lamb Crims. Crims is your color. I was your play-by-play, and of course, looking on the production tonight. Thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure to work alongside you guys as always. But guys, we will see you, and I believe it will be semi-finals happening next. There's a game happening tomorrow to dictate who the team tonight, which is Elysium Blaze, will go up against in this bracket. But again, semi-final, so exciting. It's just around the corner. Don't go anywhere. And if you don't, then you'll see us every Wednesday, baby. And of course, Zem and Dawes and the rest of the production crew that go forward as well. Romeo, Jolly, all that good stuff. We're all a good team here over in Titan. So once again, commiserations go out to Queen's Revenge and Craig. Congratulations go out. I'm just done tonight, Crims. Congratulations goes out to Elysium Blaze tonight. It was a pleasure to cast over your games. Guys, good night. God bless. We'll see you next time in the semi-finals and Titan rolls around. Regular season is over. The dust is settled and those who remain are fighting to conquer the competition.
Only one will rise to become the champion, the Titan.
Emotional damage energy.
Queen's Revenge.
Basement Dweller.
Hotspot Gaming Crimson.
Dorado Gaming Epsilon.
Rubber Ducky Gaming.
Elysium Fritz.
Elysium Blade.
You don't want to miss this. Titan Esports on a Wednesday. Let's f***ing go, baby. Gonna get the commitment now. Soren Garen's gonna be late to the party. He might be zoned out here. Doesn't even more. The damage is insurmountable. Oh, the Moonlight Figo is huge. Taylor Swift ripping through. HSGC. Dragon doing most of the damage in that. Esteban's going down. Chaos Storm going to go down from Tough Daddy. Good encore. He'll land onto the mid laner there. He's going to get the bailout onto him. He stay alive. No assist. Goes through. That's two in quick succession. But the Sivir throwing the boomerang blades. Going to get one back. Drops the opposing AD carry.
I got a haircut and they just cut my ear. Like,
oh my god.
I didn't even notice it happened. And then I was like bleeding.
Just regenerate that back. You'd think that you'd notice that.
I didn't say it got cut off. I said
completely.
It got cut. Okay. Yes, my hairdresser amputated my ear while I was having a haircut, and I didn't notice.
Fun fact, Crimson's hairdresser is a hairdresser plus a black market surgeon.
Should have realized after the first year.
Well, that's where the other one went. I'm so glad your ears are still working after that horrible hairdressing experience. Taylor Swift doesn't even need the team. Slotty hits on the hunt. Throwing recklessness, gets stunned up. Valley, master at arms, master at jack.
Wawa JL able to poke off a lot of damage. Mandolin still barely alive. The Cyclone coming through on the backside will allow OP Killswitch to find one there. In comes Nick Lulz. Out comes the Hextech Ultimatum.
Daltini Linguini trying to get more stats on the board. He gets rated up there. Exhausted as well. No dance coming out. Jack's going to return it. But he gets pulled back with the improv to play the shutdown. The Udyr, the Nudyr, who the hell put him on a cooldown? Man, looks like they're going to get the Syndra. Okay, one carry already gone. Varus going away. Lightning Crash going to be pulled back. Look at back. Actually pulls it back. This is set up nicely for Boogie. He gets one already. Ultra Shot through the wall with an Ember. He's got three. He's looking for four. This is a quadruple. This is a miracle. This is a Cinderella story.